Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the brand new and improved film club. Hey, Kenny.
Yeah!
Okay, LA Knight. Yeah. As Dave Show would say. Yeah, I'm excited to do this. This is gonna be
Yeah,
a weekly
man.
live stream that me and Kenny will be doing, the best duo on YouTube, where we talk about film related topics, whether it's gonna be spoiler reviews, any major film things that happened, like we're gonna be talking about the Oscars today,
Yeah.
and also in the beginning of the month we'll be ranking whatever movies we saw the previous month. That used to be K to Z movies. We'll be putting those together now,
hmm
consolidating and freed up on our Sundays, which is nice, nice to
Yeah.
free up my Sundays.
Like to free up the
Because
Sunday.
yeah, you got your football on Sundays, and
hmm
sometimes there's big shows on Sundays, so it's nice to do Tuesday, where we can just have some fun for an hour and 20 minutes max, and just talk about some film stuff. So, did I upload the asset? Yes, I did. So, what we're going to be talking about today is Oscar reaction. So we're going to be talking
Yeah.
about our favorite parts of the Oscars, Conan O'Brien, segments that were like, what? Why is this even here? We're
hmm
going to be going through the major categories and talk about why some people won, if they should have won, and then we're going to be talking about if we ran the Oscars, who we would swap out and actually nominate for each of these categories.
Yep.
And then at the end, we're going to be ranking all the movies we saw in February, which is
Yes.
9 in total. I don't think we both saw 9 in total, but we both saw a total of 9 films, which is kind of low for us. February
Very
was
low.
still slow. But I'm super excited to get into this. Kenny, how are you feeling?
Man, I feel amazing. And I'm super happy to be here. Yo, I'm just on cloud nine because we talking about movies and I love movies. I'm one of those
Yeah,
people who enjoys films, you know what I'm saying? When I walk into the movie theater, I'm like, tell me a good story, man. I'm just here for a good time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Have you never walked into a movie theater and be like, yeah, I can't wait to tell these people how bad this is. I'm typing on the internet. I'm typing
Already
on
have their
the
review
internet.
written out,
You know what I mean?
before they even see the movie.
Yeah, like, oh, that joint was trash. I was like, relax. It was good. You know what I mean?
Let's
So,
add
yeah,
some
I'm
nuance
excited.
to some of this conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the movies we're going to be talking about in the ranking, it incites that same behavior you're talking about. You know what I
Does
mean? We saw the main star on the picture there, so I'm excited to get into that with you. Just letting you know, spoilers. Everything we talk about is spoilerific except The Last Breath and My Dead Friend Zoe, just
Yep.
because those just came out this Friday,
Just came out.
so I don't want to spoil it for you. But anything that came out before that is free game for us. Just to let you know.
Yep.
Um, Before we get into it, let's see what the comments say. Feel like forever since I've been in one of your live streams. Yeah, man, glad to see you here,
It's
Dave
been
Show.
forever.
Yeah, been forever since I did one of these kind of live streams.
Yeah.
Therapy Entertainment, it was average. I'm guessing you're talking about the Oscars. Not too sure.
Can't be us.
Chop
We
Chop
can't be
says, "Hey,
average.
yeah, definitely not us. Hey, Chop Chop, nice to see you again. How are you
What up,
doing?"
chop chop?
With everybody, the fan club. Yeah, hey, in the club, we all fam. You know what I mean?
hmm Yeah.
Luke Ponto, the
What up,
movie extraordinaire that has
Panto?
every single movie in existence. Thank you for joining the live stream.
Look at him. He holding up a movie in his profile picture. He's like, look, I got a movie.
I got it.
Wait,
I
what
got all
movie
the
is that?
movies.
I
I
saw the
think I saw
TV
the TV
Glow.
Glow. That movie
Mm,
starts making me sing Negro hymns because I'm like,
yes. That movie makes me want to leave the one I'm with, start a new relationship with you. This is what we do. That's Usher for you young folks. And I don't
word.
want to leave the one I'm with. I love my wife. So
I was going to say, don't let her hear that. Get slapped on live stream.
it's true.
We got the homie CC
CC.
Clemens. Speaking of Oscars, I keep hyping up this reaction because it was so fun. She reacted to the substance, like
Yeah.
right before the Oscars happened. It was so funny watching her. I know she saw it before, but it was like her watching it again, and it was great. Go check that out.
Yep.
Is that Laser with a new name?
The laser.
Hey,
Laser
the
Michael.
Laser. What's up? Nice to see you, man.
Good to see you, buddy.
I'm doing fine. How about you two? We're doing really, really good. We
Doing
were
great,
excited
man.
about this.
Yep, in a great mood, hydrated, as CC Clemens would say, even though just only like a little bit left. But yeah, doing great.
I gotta drink your water. So, first up, we're going to talk about how we felt about the Oscar broadcast in general. If you guys didn't know, me and Kenny actually did a live stream on Sunday
Yep.
where we sat and reacted to it live from beginning to end, and it was a really, really fun time. But now that you had time to reflect on it, not into the moment and like, got the juices going in your brain,
Yeah.
how do you feel about it overall?
Overall, I thought it was a really good show. As you mentioned before, we want to start with Conan. Conan did a great job at hosting this year.
Yes,
And I thought that his
fantastic
jokes
job.
were on point. It was really like he really moved the show along. The times in which the show felt slow, which was I want to say right when the James Bond feature started,
Yeah,
that wasn't his fault. After that,
no.
it just felt like, y'all, can we speed this up? Because I think that that killed the momentum, all the momentum that Conan built. And the funny thing is, the first number that he sung was like, "We ain't finna waste no time," and then they immediately wasted time. Not immediately, but halfway through, they wasted time with the Oscars thing. And I was just kind of like literally everybody in the live chat in the Discord that we're a part of were like, "Why are we here? What are we doing? Why is it
Why
so
are we
long?"
doing this?
Yeah, because there's no James Bond movie coming out for years, and we know that there was a new deal made, but the hell they got to
I
do
think
with us and the
that's I
Oscars?
think that was the main reason why they did that. I feel like it was like a memoriam for James Bond. Like this is the last of the Bond that we know and love.
Yeah,
That's what it felt like to me. Where they were like, yeah, let's give this a tribute to all these great films that we had that weren't connected, they were independent, had a tradition because Amazon's about to kill all that shit.
yeah,
That's what that
yeah,
felt like.
yeah.
Um, Unfortunate, but it did feel out of place
It did.
because there was no other James Bond thing. Margaret Qualley was dancing in one of them, and I was like, she hasn't been a Bond girl. If it was like Anna de Armas, I'd be like, okay, she's been a Bond girl. That would make
Yep,
sense.
yep.
Halle Berry was
Well,
involved.
Halle Berry was there. She was at the show.
Yeah, she was at the show.
So was
So that
Anna.
would have made
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, they're all most of the well, I mean to say most of the Bond girls. I don't know if they're all alive, but a
Mhm.
lot of them are alive. Was there a lot of the Bonds could have been a part of it, but that would have been a little bit more special than like kind of people we that are not associated with it.
Yeah.
But I gotta agree with you 100%. Conan was fantastic. He had jokes throughout that really made me chuckle. I think sometimes I was like, I can't believe he even said that or joked about it.
Hmm.
Especially the Kendrick Lamar Drake thing he said
Yeah.
that was great. The Carla Sofia Gascon jokes were great.
Hmm.
Talking about how Honora had how many f bombs and her publicist had more, and
That
then
was funny.
the the Jimmy Kimmel thing, perfect
Yeah. Did you
because
see
he
what
was
the
just
writer
on
of
Jimmy
the
Kimmel.
You see what the writer of the Drake joke, the Kendrick Drake joke said? He said he bet his staff or the co-writers $50 that it would kill, and it did, and he won $50. Because it did kill. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of that, that person also had to respond because people were like, "Well, why did you only make a joke about a black pedophile?" Which is crazy that they're calling Drake a black pedophile. That shit is nuts. That's his
That's
label now.
wild. Wait, but here's the
Um,
thing. Like, wait, why aren't you talking about white pedophiles? Do you understand how crazy you sound? Like you only talking about the black ones. It's like, nigga, like why are we like if we equal pedophile opportunities? Like what are we talking about?
that's kind of wild. But the response to them was like, "I wrote the one about the pedophiles in the," and I was like, "Oh." Like so, she's like equal opportunity ass whoopings from
Right.
me left and right.
Yeah.
That was a bar.
Hmm.
But yeah, all that was funny. The sandworm from the Dune, even though Dune wasn't respected throughout this, was
Oh my
hilarious.
god. That was so funny.
It was so funny, and it just kept popping up throughout the telecast. So it made me feel like, oh, maybe they might actually give Dune its props. No, I was wrong.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Did Dune win a
Um,
single thing?
it won 2 awards. It won
Okay.
sound and cinematography, which makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I thought overall, even the Ben Stiller, him going down the stage and falling down the stage while he was
That
presenting,
was really funny.
That was really
Yeah,
funny.
that was for production
Uh,
design.
yeah. Wicked opening the show and them singing was great. I
Yep.
really, really enjoyed that too. Those two have a voice on them, man, and I can't
Oh
take that
man,
away from them.
they was out there
Ooh,
hitting them
Dave
notes.
Show. The Adam Sandler went crazy with the outfit. That was really funny too.
That was a good joke. It was a good joke that felt right on the cusp of going too long, but they cut it
Yes.
right at the right time.
Because they were like, it wasn't progressing. So I was like, okay, where are we going? And then
Right.
they moved on. I like the way they also did the craft presentation because crafts, the stuff like production design, sound, they don't get enough respect. A lot of
Right.
times these people get their awards off screen. So the fact that they did this whole thing where people came out in the costumes, or they did this whole thing showcasing the movies and talking about it and having the actors talk about how great those people were was awesome. I really, really enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
When you said craft, that's not what I was thinking about. I thought you was talking
What you
about
was thinking about?
craft services, craft like the cheese. I was like, when you brought out the craft, they really respected the crafts. I was like, oh, they shouted out craft services. That's what's up. They deserve it. Like, I didn't know
You know
you.
what's funny? This is why I know you now. After all these years of YouTube together, because when I said craft, I saw your face and your face went, huh? And I was like, oh, he thinks I'm talking about food.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I need to talk
You're
less
like, why is
about
he
food.
bringing that up?
Right.
Um, I think yes. So overall, I had a really good time. It wasn't boring. Like you said, I think the Bond thing was
No,
weird. I think that Adrian Brody having the longest speech in Oscar history
bro.
was, and that's not even an exaggeration. That's like an official stat now.
Yeah,
He's just going on and on.
on and on. And like he's like, hey, stop it. I know what I know. I've done this before. I've spoken, and then he went on to say nothing. Like, what are we doing?
I don't want to hear you talking about oppression right now, bro.
Yeah, and you know what's so, and that's a whole thing about the movie itself. It's the movie's super long. His speech was super long, but B, there's just like this pretentiousness and this like air of entitlement that comes with the making of the movie from the director. Like, I deserve
Yeah,
for my movie to be seen because I made it so long, and y'all, oh, okay, thumbs up. And y'all go out and see those 3 hour Marvel movies, but you won't come out and see this 3 hour movie.
yeah, I didn't like when he said that.
It's like, dog, first of all, you can count on one hand how many Marvel movies are actually 3 hours.
Yeah,
And two, like, we are invested in those movies. We don't know you, nigga. Like, I don't know you, dog. Like, so you gotta show me. If Nolan says I'm putting out a 3 hour movie, I'll be there. If Scorsese says it, I'll be there. But I don't know you,
yeah,
dog. Like, you gotta earn 3.5 hours from me. So
yeah.
yeah,
And his movie was longer than both those guys. Longer than Kills the Flower Moon. That
right.
movie was long.
That movie
You know
was
what I mean? So Oppenheimer was 3 hours. No, that's Nolan. You know what I mean? So yeah,
and
yeah,
you know,
there was an entitlement to the film. I'm glad that it didn't win as much as people thought. Because while I don't hate it as much as you do,
yeah.
I thought it was really good, but I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it
Hmm.
was one of the top 10 best films of the year. I know a lot of people have a different reaction to that because there's a lot of people that love that film, which is totally fine.
Yeah,
But
love what you
yeah,
love.
his speech was too long.
Yeah,
The music people for Amelia Perez singing randomly, what
yo, like, read the room.
room?
We don't like y'all. Y'all up here, and like, y'all up here too long. You didn't let the third bowl speak, and then y'all started singing. Like, they had to, and you notice after they went up and started singing, that's when they started hitting that music a little quicker until Adrian Brody was
Yeah,
like, "Hold on, it's
I'm
it's
talking.
it's about me right now. It's just me, Oos. Like, it's just me." So
After
yeah,
Big Three, it's just Big Me.
it's Big Adrian.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. They both of those guys plus Kieran and Culkin kind of like just took away from everybody else's time.
yeah,
Um, Even though Kieran Culkin's speech was fun, but it was kind of his shtick that he's done it. Like for me, he didn't need to talk that much. I get it, it's his first Oscar, but he's winning and talking so much. Like
yeah,
there's no competition for him. He was winning the Oscar. It was him and Zoe. Both didn't really need to talk that much, but I also get it because
yeah.
they're first Oscars.
Yeah.
But so that's like the only negatives I have. It's just the some of the speeches went on too long. The James Bond thing was kind of weird, and then there was another performance in the middle that was kind of weird.
Hmm.
And I feel like they put some of the like stuff that people don't really care about or invest in awards. I hate to say that, but like the documentary shorts, live action shorts, and all that, they should have mixed in a category in between them that are excited about.
Yeah.
Because it felt like a lull. It was like the James Bond thing, that then another performance, and it was like, all right,
Yeah.
like let's
Those
move it
things
along.
happened back to back to back.
Yeah. So let's see
One
what they have
last
to
thing
say real quick.
that
Yeah.
was brought up by the community
Yeah.
of African Americans was the fact that Tony Todd was not recognized in the memoriam, and that's kind of crazy. Tony Todd is a big deal. But
Can't
yeah,
find the list, but it was 6 people that people brought up that should have been like Michelle Trachtenberg. Like she just recently died too, and
yeah,
they
she
got Gene
just died.
Hackman.
Yeah,
She died, and they didn't put her in there. And there was a couple other people that the girl from oh my god, the witch show on WB. What is it called? Charm. The
Charm.
lead actress from Charm. She
Yeah,
passed away last year. They didn't put her in there either. So yeah, there was a couple people that they missed out that I was like, why did they miss out on that? I don't understand
yeah,
how Tony Todd and especially Michelle Trachtenberg, where it was like it just happened. It was kind of this thing that a lot of people mourned about. It wasn't like she died and everybody's just like whatever,
yeah.
you know?
And she died like it wasn't like she died 2 weeks ago. Like she just
Um,
died. And Gina Hackman died like the day before or the same day. It was one of the two. So it was
He
like,
died the day after. Yeah.
yeah, so But we got some comments going on.
Yeah,
Want to hit
let's see what
those
they gotta
before we
say.
get too far behind.
Yeah, let's see. Where was I? Okay, Laser. I hope I can see the Oscars next year. Miss watching it with you too. I hope you get to, man.
Yeah,
It was
man.
real fun.
It was very fun.
And this year looks like it's going to be crazy because it's a lot. This year is stacked with films.
Yeah, for sure.
Working on a Wicked reaction movie thick.
That's gonna be
Day
some
Show is
editing
good
right
for
there.
you.
Yep.
Oh, Day Show just did a crash out video about Screen 7 because of that news that was just announced. That's going to be
Yo,
interesting.
that news is crazy. And Dave,
Yeah.
there's a Visine for that. Is an old commercial. You should YouTube it. It was just about some medicine where no matter what happened, they had a medicine for it. It was like there's a Visine for that. So that's an that's an inside joke with me and Dave. But yeah,
That's funny. And sadly, he probably want to come back. Oh, he won't come back. Oh, he probably talking about Conan. Yeah, Conan's probably
oh
like, I did it. I'm done.
yeah, that sucks, man.
The disrespected Dune is nuts. Facts. It was insane.
Actual fact,
People,
actual
oh
fact.
yeah, people were mad about Zoe. Let's
Yeah,
talk
about
about.
her speech after the Oscars.
Yeah, that was so just like the movie, very tone deaf.
Right. It's like it's not about Mexico. So,
But it is
but it kind of is though.
based in Mexico.
But then I actually watched her full like spiel on it. Besides what she said, she's like, this could have been, these three women could have been from Russia or this place or that place. Here's the thing: within the context that you just had, no, they couldn't. Like culture is not just some transferable thing. Like a friend of mine says all the time, black people are not just dark skinned white people. Like there's a complete
You know,
culture associated with them. So you can't just say you can just swap out Mexican culture or what Russian culture. It's the same thing. No, it's not.
Russian culture is very different from Mexican culture. Mexican culture is very different from Dominican
Yeah,
culture, from our culture, and it's like Russian culture is different from Ukraine culture, and they're right
right.
next to each other.
Yeah,
So, like, how could you even say
fix your
something
mouth and
like
say
that?
something with that. And I'm not saying one culture is better than another. I'm just saying they're different. They're all different.
Yeah, all very, very different. So, for the fact that she even came out and said that was very, very weird and just
Yeah.
doubled down.
It was given
Um,
I won. I don't care what y'all got to say.
it felt like that with her, and it felt like that with the director as well when they asked
Yeah.
him to speak about trans rights. And I was just like,
Oh,
he's not the one that needs to be doing it.
no, not at all. Especially knowing that he didn't research a damn thing.
No, he just knew what he knew. Acres of Movies. Welcome back to the
What's
live
up?
stream. You were here Sunday watching it with us, so this is fun. Hello, thanks, Stacy. Do you want a Kaiser Soze prequel?
Kaiser Soze from
Uh,
The Usual Suspects. Personally,
Ooh.
no. I think the whole, and I won't spoil it because it seems like you haven't seen it.
I,
Yeah, the whole thing is you don't know who this person is or where they came from. Like the whole thing is about the
mm,
mystery of that character. So I would just leave it alone.
you don't want the mystery to be ruined.
No, just keep it the way
Zoe,
it is.
yeah, it's just like ruin the mystery of the Joker. It's like just leave it. Zoe definitely deserved her flowers, just maybe not for that role. I haven't seen the movie yet, but from what I've seen, I have to agree. You got to do a reaction to Amelia Perez, see. That is going to
Woo!
be one of the most funniest things on the internet. Your reaction to that. I agree. Zoe does deserve her
She's
flowers.
great. Yeah.
She's in what, four of the highest grossing movies of all time.
Yep.
Wait, yeah, because she was in Infinity War, she was in Endgame, in both Avatar movies,
Yep.
and Star Trek. All gross really high. They're not like top 10, but they're somewhere
Yeah.
around the 30s or 40s. So like, she's a financially successful actress. She has range. She's done a great job in film. She probably should have been nominated for Avatar, especially the
Mhm.
second one, because she was acting her ass off. But
Yeah.
yeah, this was not the one.
No.
I think because the movie is so bad that the fact that she's good makes it feel like she does a great job in the movie when she just did a good job.
Yeah. And my thing is like, okay, so there's a great performance in a bad movie. I would much rather reward a great performance in a great movie, and there are several great movies, which we'll talk about later, that were
Yeah.
actually left off.
Yeah. Oh, so, yeah, the Oscars made me way more hesitant to watch The Brutalist. I'm good on it. What
Yeah,
about the Oscars made you hesitant? What about that? The show made you more hesitant about it? I'm interested in hearing that. Yeah, they dropped the ball on that. The music they used for it was odd too. I'm not sure what she was referencing. What do you think she was referencing there?
I'm not entirely sure.
Why would they give an award to a movie that's hated? Apparently, only regular people like us hated it because the critics love it. I don't know what the Rotten Tomatoes. I think Tomatoes actually bad, but
I don't know.
look that up. How is
Yeah,
the Rotten Tomatoes for Amelia Perez?
it's a good
Glad I don't
question.
have to talk about this movie ever again.
Oh, and that was another thing, CC. Like, I'm so happy that the Oscars season is over, so I can stop like feeling like I need to rush and binge all these movies before the show happens. Because
Yeah,
that just kind of it almost took the joy out of it. It was like, oh, it's a
yeah,
chore to get through. Movies I actually some of them I ended up liking. Most one of them I definitely didn't. But that's what you get anytime you watch a movie.
that's the Amelia Perez. So like,
Sheesh.
see, like critics enjoyed it. 72% is not bad, but 16% audience score. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on. Like it
yeah.
doesn't make it make
That's a
sense. It's
crazy disparity.
like yeah, I've never seen such a disparity between an Oscar film and like regular audiences. It's
Yeah.
crazy how people hated that movie, and it was widely available everywhere because it was a Netflix film.
Yep.
Oh my god, I would have been so mad if I saw that in the theaters. Oh, I would have been so mad. Oh,
For me, honestly, it probably would have been better if I did see it in the theater. And I say the same thing about another movie I didn't personally enjoy, which was the long movie, which it was The Brutalist, right?
Brutalist.
Um, I did not enjoy that movie, but I'm glad I saw
Mhm.
it in the theater because if I didn't see it in the theater, it would have taken me days to finish it. And the way I
Mm,
operate is it's hard for me to start another thing when I haven't finished one thing. So
yeah,
I'm glad I was stuck in the theater. I got it done and I can just move on to whatever else I need to. Because I started watching Amelia Perez and I still haven't finished it. I've gotten through a good bit of it, but I still haven't finished it because I'm not enjoying it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like,
yeah.
you know,
It's just
if I was
I
stuck
was
in the
sitting there
theater, I could
just
just get it done.
struggling through that movie. Like I was halfway through Amelia Perez, and I was just like, if this was not nominated for the Oscars, I would have turned this off a long time ago.
Yeah.
When they said "dick into the vagina," I was like, I need to be out,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
felt trapped. I was like, I
Yep.
gotta finish this.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the nominees and the winners. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to break down each of the major categories, which is Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress. We're going to break down who won, who's in the categories, who we think should have won, and then after that, we're going to give you who we would swap out for our own personal nominees, who we thought
Yep.
was a better list than the list we got. So we're going to start with the big Bandata. of the everything, and that's Best Picture. So for Best Picture, it was Wicked, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, blah, Dune Part 2, Conclave, and the winner of the night, which is Nora.
Hmm.
Um, just off the strength of the list alone, do you think this is a strong list and a strong list to encapsulate 2024?
No, I don't. I think that there are way better movies that could have been chosen for this category. I do think that they did choose some good ones. They did choose some bangers. Like can't argue with Nickel Boys. Can't argue with Anora. Really enjoyed Anora. I don't personally have Conclave on my best picture choices, but I did really enjoy that movie, so I'm not mad at it
Mm,
at all. And it's a really good movie, right? So there's that, and what were the other? Can you put the choices up again one more time?
Gotcha, I'll keep it up.
Um, Doom Part Two deserved. The substance is an interesting one. I didn't see I'm Still Here, and I didn't see A Complete Unknown, so I can't really speak to those. But the substance is an interesting one because you could dig down if you want.
Yeah.
Because it's a really good movie, but best picture,
Mhm.
it's a good movie, but best picture, like you know what I mean, like the best picture of the year, like like if that would have won best picture, so let's put it like this: if The Substance wins best picture over Dune Part Two, I'm like, what were y'all smoking, right? Like and I like the movie. But best picture? You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of like in that kind of vein, which But so I think that there are some good choices, but I feel like it's mostly I feel like it almost feels safe, like really
Mm,
safe. A lot of the
yeah,
choices, and a lot of
I
the
agree.
choices seem to be emblematic of like, oh, they tried so hard, and it's like,
And got so
yeah,
far
it's
in
like
the
so.
end. Sorry.
This is my issue with the Oscars in general, which
Yeah.
is I don't want to go on a long diatribe about this, which is the sympathy points. I don't give a
Mm,
damn about sympathy points. This is the same as last year and the last 2 years when Jamie Lee Curtis won over Angela Bassett, and I'm like, in what world did Jamie Lee Curtis's performance become better than Angela Bassett's? And this is the same thing when Miyazaki's movie last year won over I forget what Spider Verse, and I'm like,
yeah.
what are we smoking? Like, oh yeah, but Mia, and here's the thing: people are so uninformed. Oh, this might be. They said two things. Oh, this could be Miyazaki's last movie. What that got to do with me? Like, if I'm another person who
Yeah.
created a film, like, what does that have to do with me? I may never get back to this stage, right? But
Yeah.
now you're going to give
Or
it
I
away,
can pass away and never
right?
make another movie. Every movie
Right.
could be someone's last movie.
And the other one was like, oh, he's never won before. He has though. So it's like, what are we talking about? And the same thing happened this year when someone was like, oh, we want to give it to this movie. I forget which one it was because they've never won an Oscar before. It's like, but they have though. Like,
It was
I don't.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah, Adrian Brody is like, and the funniest thing, he gets on stage, tells him, "Stop the music. I've been here before.
Been here before.
He's won before. Like, what are we talking
Yeah.
about?" So, yeah.
Yeah.
What do
And they
you
were
think?
talking about like Ray Fiennes, we don't want to vote for him because he's won one, he's never won. So it's just
It's like,
like, and I don't
yeah,
think this is indicative of like all the Oscar people who vote because it's like 1,000 members. I think there's a few idiots amongst them. I
yeah.
think when I look at this list, I think when I think Oscars, this makes sense for me because they always have that one film that no one likes in there. They love musical biopic.
Mm,
They love a religious film. They love a film about Holocaust or anything Holocaust adjacent. They
yeah.
love a black struggle film and a
Yep.
Spanish struggle film. And they always got
Mm,
to throw one movie in there that the populace likes to draw people in, even though it doesn't seem like Wicked was the one to do it this year for some reason.
I thought you were talking
Um,
about Dune.
it would be Dune, but they didn't nominate it like it was. Like they didn't give no
Yeah,
acting noms. They
yeah,
didn't like, you know what I mean? Like they didn't even put it in sound, which was crazy. Well, no, not sound. Production design, I think, or something like that. It was like
insane.
technical categories. Editing, it wasn't in. So like,
It wasn't in costume
um,
design, which is like
it
what?
should have been every craft. It should have been
Yeah,
in. You know what I mean? I think
well, not the
overall,
service.
when I think about the Academy, I think this is a strong list because all these movies are favored, right? Except Amelia Perez. I think Amelia Perez is the only one that is poorly reviewed. Everything else people love. So it's not like they picked a bunch of movies people don't like. I've heard of all these movies at least as well.
Yeah,
I think the only movie that's here that I've only heard of because it got nominated was I'm Still Here. And then the Brazilians really pushed that forward with their campaign online. And the movie's great, so I'm not even mad at it. For
yeah,
me personally, when I look at this list, I love Honora, and I think Cece just said something here. If I could find it, right? I love Honora, but Best Picture though, and that's kind of how I feel too.
yeah,
I love Honora, but I don't think it was a Best Picture winner. I was fine with it being the 10, but for it to win was weird to me. Out of here, but I'm kind of happy it won because I didn't want The Brutalist to win, and I felt like that was the number two,
yeah,
and that movie is okay. And everything else is kind of like Amelia Perez is a disaster. Like, I'd rather anything over Amelia Perez. And yeah, everything else would have been fun to win except a complete unknown, which is kind of boring. So I guess when you look at all that, plus the controversies, Brulis had the AI controversy, Amelia had every single controversy you could possibly have in
everyone you
existence.
could find
Blackface, AI, people wilding out on Twitter,
on screen and
cultural
off screen.
appropriation.
Yeah,
Yeah, both. And then I'm Still Here had a little bit of controversy with Fernanda Torres doing blackface, so that didn't help.
this is my first severe
I
now.
Yep, and she apologized for it. It was like when she was younger, and she's from a different country, and sometimes blackface is not known like how hurtful it is.
Sure.
And a complete unknown. I do think Timothy Chalamet's campaign hurt that film. I think his push for it to be like the winner and all the stuff he was doing, and then when he won SAG, for him to try to say I'm trying to be the greatest of all time and all that stuff. I think there was a conversation online about how people said it was in poor taste. For me, I thought that was amazing. Yeah, of course he should feel like that.
Right.
But some people feel like you need to be humble. Like why?
Yeah. And some people
And
who
before
don't talk like that who get up and are Adrian Brody.
Yeah, or like Ray Fiennes. He gets dinged because he doesn't want a campaign. He feels like I did a great performance. I should win based off that. I shouldn't have to do all this extra shit to win.
I'm with him.
You know?
Yeah.
I agree. So let's look at some comments and then we're gonna look at Kenny's best picture nominees that he would swap out and win, and he'll explain why, and I'll criticize him for choices because that's what we do here.
That's what we do.
Where were we at? Adam Sandler, Zoe definitely deserved. They dropped the ball. Oh, he was talking about the music. It was odd. That's what she's saying. They dropped the ball.
It was. Yeah.
Amelia Perez was the first movie I didn't even have an option with how bad it was. Yeah, it was rough. Yes to us trashing these movies. For Brutus, it was like I said, entitlement vibe. Adrian's speech had me like, bruh, long movie, long speech, nah.
Crazy, crazy work.
Do you want a Batista and Sandra Bullock action comedy? That actually sounds like a
Sure.
good time.
Yeah. I'll take that.
You know what? Make it a romantic action comedy because he's been saying he wants to be in a rom com and no one's casting him one. Batista deserves one.
Yeah. He deserves to do whatever the hell he wants to. He's
Yeah,
that good.
man. He's so unproblematic, dude. I'm Still Here. Shocked me with how good it was.
Okay.
Let's see. I love the Nora. Oh, Spoiler Kings. What's up, guys?
What
Conclave or
up?
Dune 2 should have won. Okay, I feel you. I
I
know
hear
they
that.
love
Yeah. I'm
Conclave.
with you on that. Yeah.
I know what it was. It was the silver streaks in her hair that did it for them. Oh God, they must be smoking that good stuff. Having go to say they didn't even watch Dune 2 and still able to vote is wild. I agree.
That's crazy to me. They get sent.
Voters
They get
suck
sent to
this
your
year.
house. You ain't gotta go nowhere. It's
I
your
didn't think all
job,
these movies got sent to my house. I would just watch one a day.
right?
Voters suck this year. Can't even Google if Ray finds one or not, but you can give it to someone who won before. Makes no damn sense. Yeah, that's crazy. I can't stay, but just wanted to drop in and say howdy. Sully streams, I
Howdy,
appreciate you, man. Hurt minded.
salute.
You're right, Zach. That's why these award shows usually don't excite me, especially the Oscars. I'm usually like the whole time. That's funny. I'll say that the show was really good though, overall though.
Yeah.
Dello Movies,
What
what's
up,
up, man?
Dale?
Doom 2 should have won every category. I don't care. For Perk, I agree. I
I'm
agree.
not against it. To be
Now,
honest with you.
let's see what Kenny
Real
thinks. Should
quick,
have been nominated. Yeah.
do you think that Dune coming out so early in the year hurt it?
Yes. Absolutely.
I think so too.
They have recency bias. If you come out before the summer, it's like you didn't exist.
Yeah. If that movie
We
comes
lucked
out
out.
in
Yeah.
November, September,
It's
November,
winning.
it's winning everything.
It's winning. I don't know what else came out, but it would have been good. It would have did good at the box office. It still would have been in theaters right now, probably, if it came out in
Yep,
November.
yep, yep,
So that it would have been recent. And yeah, it would have been it would have done really, really well. The only movie I can remember from recent memory that came out really early in the year and then went all the way was Everything Everywhere All at Once. My
yep.
that came out around the same time Dune did.
Yeah, sure did.
So yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. But
Hmm.
here is Kenny's best picture lineup. We're going with The Substance. So you were talking all that shit about The Substance and you
Hey,
put it
listen,
on your
man.
list?
Hey, listen, man. I was looking at my list while I was talking. I was like, oh shit, I got it on
Hundreds of Beavers,
there. Uh huh.
Doom Part 2.
Yep.
The Hundreds of Beavers, I love that pick.
Love.
Doom Part 2, Wicked, Anora, which is Wicked and Nora are two movies that are already on here. Challengers, which was sorely snubbed, complete not even snubbed because it didn't. Yeah, I guess snub is the right word. It didn't get nominated for anything. Had the best score of the year. Didn't get nominated for best original score. Insane. Nickel Boys is another movie that was nominated. So you have 3 of the 10 on your list.
Hmm.
A Different Man, Strange Darling, and I spelled strange wrong. My bad. And Sing Sing, which a lot of people thought was going to get nominated for Best Picture, but for some reason missed it. And that was your winner.
Yeah.
Now break down your list. Why are these your options? And why did you pick Sing Sing?
So Sing Sing, just because it was the most impactful movie for me. I'm
Mm,
so pissed off at A24 for how they A ran a campaign for it, and B how it was so difficult to find. It was impossible to find that movie. I found it. It was one showing. It was one day showing on the Thursday, and it was only 2 showings. And I didn't see the movie in the theater for the rest of the month of August. And there's nothing out in August, so you guys could have had that theater, right? Even small theaters, right? And I'm not talking about your AMC's. I'm talking about your small local theaters. Couldn't find it, right? So Sing Sing, Coleman Domingo's performance is incredible. The entire movie, the majority of the cast, 95% of the cast are former inmates who are part of the Sing Sing arts program who actually they were actually in the program acting and performing plays and also ended up in this movie. So it and they
yeah,
were and they it wasn't just like, oh man, look at these former inmates act. No, these people were phenomenal in this film. It's
yeah,
directed well. Everything about this movie just screams best picture to me. In my opinion, I think the reason why it didn't get nominated is because you had Nickel Boys and two Black Struggle films at the same time. Hold on now, we didn't fit our quota, right? So
I didn't
really,
even think of that.
really enjoyed this film.
Yeah,
So yeah, I when I put my review out for the movie, I put the best movie I've seen this year or the best movie of the year because at that
I
time I
remember
felt
that.
like it was the best movie of the year.
Yeah,
Strange
and to
Darling,
piggyback off of that, before you go to Strange Darling,
yeah,
Clarence Macklin should have this a snub. We're talking
yeah,
about snubs and things like that. He should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
definitely should have been best supporting actor for sure. Yeah, so Strange Darling was another movie that absolutely floored me with how good it was, how great of a ride it was. You never knew exactly what was going on. Like you had the pieces together, but it wasn't one of those situations where you had like you didn't know what was going on, but you also weren't entertained. It was kind of like, oh, you guys lost me. It was like every chapter of the movie gave you another piece of it, and it was just everything that you thought you knew you didn't know, and it was just directed so well, it was acted so well. I absolutely love this movie. Different Man was another Sebastian Stan performance that was absolutely incredible. This movie's incredible. The supporting actor whose name I can't remember was also a snub for this movie because
Adam Pearson.
you could almost say Adam Pearson was better than Sebastian Stan in the movie. Like he was phenomenal. So Different Man was great. Nickel Boys, we've already was already nominated. Challengers, I really don't understand how that movie wasn't nominated for Best Picture. Zendaya and the entire cast were great. It was directed phenomenally. Like the things that they were doing with the camera and the things that they were doing with sound during this movie were incredible. The story was well told. Like these are movies that I just thought were better than your Brutalist. I felt like I haven't seen A Complete Unknown, so I can't really say. But if I had to bet, I would. I think I would have enjoyed those movies more than
And Challenges and Strange Daughters is similar in terms of how the out of order the
yeah,
story is, and
yeah.
how they both use that really, really
Hmm.
well, and doesn't make it confusing.
And
Like you
that's
understand where
difficult to
you
do.
are. It is.
Yeah, so Hundreds of Beavers like Hundreds of Beavers to me was one of the most entertaining films I've watched in years, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
One of the most, and it's so different from anything I've ever seen. To me, it's very similar, not in story at all, to Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, and how
Mhm.
different it is from most movies that you'll ever watch, but how endearing it is, how it keeps you
Yeah.
like invested the entire time, and how like it's like all those movies, all the movies are the same now. Like this is what you're looking for. This is what
Yeah.
you're looking for. So yeah, man, like
Looney
all of that.
Tunes, Charlie Chaplin, all that good
Yeah,
stuff in there.
all of it,
This is the
man.
only movie
And
on
it's
your
funny
list
as
I would
hell.
say that there's no damn way in hell they were nominated. Like this is the
Yeah.
only movie on your list. I get it. I personally think it should be nominated for something because of how special it is.
Mhm.
But I do think this is the only movie that I was like, oh, they would never nominate this. But
Yeah.
if they were smart, they should.
Yeah, and to make it clear to the audience, hey guys, the way that I put my list together was not based on how the Oscars would vote. It was based on what I thought were the best movies. Because f them niggas, right? So I just wanted to put the movies that I love them, and honestly, there are movies that I love more than some of these, and I'm like Oscars. Eh, like Alien Romulus is a movie
Yeah,
I absolutely love. But do I
yeah.
think it's like an Oscar worthy movie? Probably not.
Uh, got
But
best VFX. That was cool.
yeah, great VFX, great story, great drama, great all of it. It kept you engaged. It was awesome. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So that's my list. What was your list? Or should we go
Um,
to the comments and talk about people's responses first?
yeah, first, and then go to mine. Do-do-do-do. What's up? Do party should have. The Show Awards over the Oscars. I agree,
Yep,
100%. Just like Spoiler Kings. I'm not on the Dune train, but what part of the year it comes out should never be a factor. I
correct.
agree, but
I agree.
unfortunately, it is. If you drop your movie between January and April or May, you probably are not getting nominated for an Oscar unless you have a huge campaign behind it and a narrative like Everything Everywhere All at Once did.
Yeah.
What are your favorite directors? Two off the top of my head is Zack Snyder and Denis Villeneuve, and Christopher Nolan. Those are the three I can think off the top of my head.
I'm gonna go with Spike Lee, Ryan Coogler, Jordan Peele,
Hmm.
and yeah, Nolan's another great one as well. Yeah, so I think those will be my favorites.
Yeah, I would add Jordan Peele to there too. He made one of my favorite movies of all time in Get Out,
Mhm.
and Robert Eggers and Ari Aster are up there too. They're
Ava
starting to get up
DuVernay
there
is
because
another one who I would throw
Ava
out there.
DuVernay
Yeah,
Origin was another movie that should have gotten more shine this year, but it also came
yeah,
out really early in the year,
yeah.
as well. I think it came out in
Mhm.
January, so it was no way she was getting nominated for that.
Right.
She had three great performances this year, and I didn't even get to see all the movies she was in.
Yep.
I forgot what her name is right
Angelina
now.
Ellis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still to see a lot of the 2024 consensus best movies. You do, man. I will say this year, everyone's list is different. Like everybody top's 10 is a little different. There was a lot of movies people loved. It's just weird that the Oscars didn't like get the variety.
Yeah,
If Netflix was gonna put up a movie, they should have got His Three Daughters or Piano Lesson. Yeah, I think those are two strong movies. I like Piano Lesson. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was really good.
I like being honest.
Um, but, but the performances were really strong. That's
Yeah,
like the first time I thought John David Washington was a great actor. So I would have loved for him to get.
this guy.
We listen, but we don't judge. But The History Daughters is a movie I recommend if you like character study dramas and a movie depicting a situation you don't see a lot, especially if you didn't go through it. Three daughters waiting for their father to die and how they reconcile with that and reconcile the difference between them. It's heartbreaking. And the last 10 minutes made me burst in tears.
Yeah. And I will mention,
So
I'm
yeah,
sorry for my list. If I were to
yeah,
replace the substance with something, it would probably be not Spotlight. Was it
different
Spotlight?
year.
No, not
No,
Spotlight.
it's a different year.
Ghostlight. Ghostlight.
Oh, slight,
Yeah,
strong movie. Yeah, yeah, I think Sing Sing and that being so similar in terms of themes and both using theater kind
yeah,
of pushed Spotlight out of the way, especially with
mhm,
Coleman Domingo being a more notable actor. And
yep.
probably had a better performance than the lead actor in that movie, even if he was great.
He was great.
Sing Sing 100 times nominated over Amelia Perez. 1000%. Swap that out immediately for Sing Sing or
Yeah,
Challenges or any of the things he just said. Do you want an Oregon Trail movie? If someone can put a nice twist to it, 1000%.
yeah. I'm not familiar with Oregon Trail. Like I know of it. I'm not. I'm
He
not
said that movie
entrenched in the
movie
lore
would be 10 minutes long because everyone would die.
of this. Yeah.
CC said, felt that. F him.
See, y'all know what it is.
It's a sweeping epic movie that deals with Holocaust. Best pick nominee. Look it up. Yeah, that's exactly what the
Yep.
Buddha list is.
Yep.
And Ricky Gervais made a joke about it, I think 2 Oscars ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps happening. Select the movie, man. What's up,
What
man?
up, collector?
Hope you're doing good. His Three Daughters was really good. Natasha Lean, well, I think it's Leon, was excellent. Yeah, she was great. I think all three were really great. Elizabeth Olsen, Natasha Leon, and Connie Boone. I think that's her name.
Oh, I didn't know that was a cast. That's a cast right there.
And that's a cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Poker Face comes out in a couple weeks too.
Oh, I'm so excited for that, man.
Same.
That show is so good. It takes so long for season 2, but
Yeah.
they have Cynthia Erivo's in it.
What? I'm
She's
excited.
playing twins.
What? I'm doubly excited.
Yeah. So we'll see. She's also playing Jesus on Broadway, so that's going to be interesting.
What? That's cool.
So my best picture list is Honora, A Different Man, Nickel Boys, Challengers, Red Rooms, Furiosa, Memoirs of a Snail, The
Mm,
Substance, Nosferatu, and the winner is Dune Part 2. Just to go through it, I was looking through my list. I was doing a combination of what Kenny did with like what he would pick, but I also was thinking like, what would the Oscars pick? Like, what are the movies? Because this is not my top 10 favorite movies of the year. Some of these are my top 10, some of them are not. But like some of them that had like Alien Romulus, that's not getting in there. Turtles
hmm
All the Way Down, that's not getting looked at two
No.
times over. Because it's such a YA movie. So these are the films that were in my top 50 that I was like, you know what? These are the ones I can see the Oscars picking. So obviously Doom Part 2 was nominated, The Substance was nominated, Nickel Boys was nominated, and Nora was nominated. So 4 out of the 10 picks I picked. Doom Part 2, I think, is one of the greatest movies ever made. So that was automatically going to win for me. I think Nosferatu is super underrated in terms of the way it's made. I really, really enjoyed that film.
I was
I think that it
shocked
was.
Nosferatu didn't get picked. Shocked.
I shocked. It felt like a movie the Oscars would love. Just the
Yeah.
performances, the way it looked, the way it sounded, the subject matter, how old school the film felt, even though it was made with modern sensibilities.
Yep.
I'm shocked that it only got what it got cinematography, I think, and production design.
Easily. Best Picture. Now, I'm not saying it will win these, but Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor for uh, Skarsgård, and Best Actress
Oh,
for Lily Rose Depp.
Lily Rose Depp.
She
She was
killed that.
fantastic,
Like
and she
I
was there
like
that night.
for the life of me, I don't understand how that didn't get done.
I don't.
And if you remember, I didn't necessarily love that movie when I first saw it, but I'm like,
Yeah,
this is an Oscar movie that would be picked
yeah.
up. So I was actually shocked by it.
Even like Willem Dafoe for Best Supporting Actor, he was so good in the damn
Yeah,
movie.
Willem Dafoe don't be getting
So
nominated, and we need to have a conversation about
we need to have several.
that.
Why he's getting overlooked is like,
Yeah,
oh, you're a superhero actor, forget you.
right.
Um, but yeah, Doom. What was it? Doom Part Two. Talk about the Nosferatu, The Substance. I love that. Was my third favorite
Yeah,
film of last year. I was shocked that it got nominated for an Oscar because how crazy it is. But I think it's well deserving. I thought that was one of the most stylish movies that had substance to it, pun intended, and
hilarious.
it had some great performances. Memoirs of the Snail, I've been shouting from the hilltops about that movie. I think animated movies deserve more love. I think The
Yep.
Wild Robot deserved to be in Best Picture. I think Flow deserved to be in Best Picture. And I think Inside Out 2 could have been the Best Picture. I would
Inside
have
Out 2 for
taken out
sure.
Amelia Perez for one of those. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? I would
Yeah.
have took The Brutalist out for one of those. You know what I mean?
Memoir of a Snail, I
So,
definitely think should have gotten nominated for Best Picture. It's that
which
good.
one?
Memoir of a Snail.
Yeah, it's so damn good. It's adult, so it's not like it's a kiddie movie.
Right.
Um, and it's an epic. It's like you talk about epic films. It's telling the life of someone from beginning to end, but
Yeah.
never doing it where it felt so self-serious.
Yeah.
It was depressing, but it was also still comedy in there and a dark humor, but also just regular humor to keep it like just to like keep it light. Like the whole premise of we're showcasing that yes, this person is going through some of the most terrible things that you can go through, but finding pockets of happiness within that darkness. That's really strong
Yeah.
themes. And I think that movie definitely
Yeah.
deserved to be there over everything else. If you
Remember,
have not seen Memoir of the Snail, check it out.
remember, I told you I thought it didn't get nominated because they didn't want kids going to go look for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but it definitely feels true based on how we
Yeah.
know the Academy operates.
Yeah. And I don't know. It just blew my mind that it wasn't nominated. And animation and horror just needs to get and comedies need to get a little bit more recognition.
Comedy for sure.
What
Which is
was
funny.
Furiosa?
Yeah.
Talking about a sprawling, ambitious epic with amazing performances. George Miller is like 80 years old and did his damn thing.
Yep.
Red Rooms was a movie that a lot of people didn't get to see, but a lot of these movies that's on the Best Picture list, a lot of people didn't get to see, and that was a haunting film. Nickel Boys is on there, and I have this thing in the way so you can't see. A Different Man, we both have that on our list, and
Yep.
Honora is everybody on the list. So like we have
Yeah.
some crossover with each other, but yeah, that was
Furiosa
my list.
is on a was almost made a different list that we'll be talking about soon. But yeah, Furiosa deserved to be recognized for sure.
Definitely. Because if they want to go, oh, the box office wasn't, come on, man. The box office for a lot of these movies weren't great. So, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I think honestly, I think one of the reasons why Furiosa and Doom Part Two either didn't win or get nominated for certain awards is because they're sequels to movies that have essentially done those things before. Right? There's not
Hmm.
too much new added to Doom Part Two or Furiosa. You're in the same world, so it's kind of like we've seen that before. It was cool. You know what I mean? I think that they kind of have that kind of attitude towards it because I don't know too many sequels that have gotten nominated for like production design and things
Hmm.
of that nature that were pretty much the same from before. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Which, because, sequels shouldn't get um, punished because it's a sequel, you know?
yeah, it wasn't until
Especially
last
if it
year.
elevated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't until last year when Godzilla Minus One came out that I found out that the reason why Godzilla Score wasn't nominated is because it had been nominated before. And I didn't
Sword.
know that. Because if you put out Godzilla's score in any year against any set of scores, it's a good possibility it's going to win. It's that
Yeah.
good, right?
So I
So
guess that's why they feel like it's unfair.
Right.
And I thought this video was pre-recorded video you were doing today. I didn't know you were going live. Aren't you going live tomorrow too? No, I am not. I work till like 8 o'clock tomorrow. There was no way I was going live tomorrow. Yeah, the film club will be every Tuesday, as long as we both can do it. For whatever reason, maybe like if one of us can't do it and we still want to go live, we may have a guest or we might go solo dolo.
Right. Right.
But for the most part, it'll be every Tuesday moving forward, probably starting at 7 o'clock because I'm not trying to run into Daredevil like we are right now.
Mhm.
Dark Room reviews. Hey, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. Hey, man. Hey, Kenny. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up, Dark?
Nosferatu didn't get much Oscar love because the Academy used all the horror love on The Substance,
Agreed.
and The Substance got that love because the Academy loved movies about Hollywood almost as much as it loves movies about Holocaust. See noms for the artist and the man. That is 100% true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
That movie
that
is
that
about
makes
Hollywood.
so much sense. Yep.
This is why you subscribe to Delon Movies because he's a smart man. He's
Yeah.
smarter than us.
And you know what's funny is they said that whole thing about I saw someone else say I didn't come up with this. They talked about how Demi Moore's entire movie is about Hollywood wanting the younger actress, and in my opinion, Demi Moore gave probably a better performance, but the younger actress was chosen instead, which
Yeah.
kind of self fulfills the prophecy. Is a self is a self fulfilling prophecy of the substance.
I agree with you as well. Like it's just funny how that worked in the year because it's like it doesn't always happen. We've had some best actresses that were older, but it's just funny that like this year when the substance is about that, that's when you pick the younger actress. The
Yeah,
younger actress that has many years ahead of her to win another one.
right.
Best actor.
Hmm.
Coleman Domingo, Timothy, I spelled Timothy Chalamet's name wrong. I apologize. Sebastian Stan, which I was so happy that he got nominated because it looked like he wasn't going to.
A time
Ray
thief.
Fiennes and Adrian Brody was the winner. Yeah, we both feel like this is a weaker list in
Yeah,
terms of the nominees.
yeah.
I think there's some strong, maybe not because I didn't get to see Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan. So
Yeah, I
maybe
didn't.
if I saw it and it was an amazing performance, this would be stronger. But I think I saw everybody else.
Right.
For me, Adrian Brody is not on my list.
No,
I
not
thought
at all.
he was great, but I don't think he was in the top 10 of my favorite performances of the year. Honestly, I would have nominated Sebastian Stan twice,
Yo, for real.
you know, and Coleman Domingo was phenomenal. But
Hmm.
all, from the list that they did have, right, it's still a solid list overall. I get why Adrian Brody was nominated. It wasn't like he was terrible. Who do
Yeah.
you think should have won? And who would you personally want to win?
I debate between Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice and
Hmm.
Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing. Personally, I'm going to go with Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing because he was incredible in that movie.
Yeah,
I've seen all these movies except for A Complete Unknown. If Ray Fiennes won, I would not have been upset at all.
neither.
Um, but Coleman or Sebastian Stan probably should have went home with that trophy.
I totally agree. I'm on the Sebastian Stan train. Whether this was for a different man or apprentice, I believe it was for the apprentice. I think
Yeah,
he had the best. Well, no, I don't think he had the best male performance. I think the best male performance is in Perfect Days because that's a really hard performance to do where he doesn't talk,
mm,
but you understand what he's going through and everybody else is talking around him. But that was never going to get nominated for whatever reason. But out of these, I think Sebastian Stan had the strongest performance with Coleman Domingo like right there because he pulls at your heartstrings so much in that
yeah,
film. But Sebastian Stan embodying Donald Trump in that way, where I forgot it was Sebastian Stan,
boy,
and
yeah,
not doing it in a way that was a parody. Like he
yeah,
didn't do an over exaggeration of his accent. He didn't like do the whole thing they do on SNL with the hands.
yeah. But
He
but
played him like a real person.
but he did do it, but it was natural in what was happening.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
when it happened, it was like I recognize that. It wasn't like, oh, he's just playing, like you said, he's not playing a parody
It
version.
wasn't every scene. It wasn't
Right.
like he was talking like this the whole time, you know what I
Right.
mean? But yeah, you said it. It made sense within the natural reaction, especially as he got closer to the end of the movie where he became the more of the Donald Trump we know now.
Right.
He brought more of those characteristics out, the character that he plays on screen.
Agreed.
So for me, this is a solid list, a little bit of weaker list, but I do think that I would have been fine with everybody here winning except Adrian Brody, but I do think Sebastian Stan or Coleman Domingo to me were the front runners,
Yeah.
and you agree with that.
I do.
Let me see if there's any. Let me see if there's any comments real quick. Val, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. I feel like Honora was missing something. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Even though I love Honora, I 100% agree. I even said that in my review. It was missing something. If
Mhm.
it had the thing that it was missing, it would have been a 5 out of 5 movie for me. It was a couple of things that made it not a 5 out of 5 movie for me. I think I read an article today, and I guess I should bring this up now about like how sex workers are reacting to Honora's win and how they don't like it because they feel like the portrayal of a sex worker is so off in the movie because they said that sex workers, especially if you're a seasoned one, which they portrayed Honora as a seasoned sex worker, they separate their real life personality versus their work personality because you're selling the person uh, uh, um, an image that they want, not what you really are. And it felt like Honora, by using her real name, not
Mm.
really having a separation of her personality, believing a rich oligarch is going to take care of, he never gave her a reason that was going to happen. It's stuff that a seasoned sex worker with people who she worked with would never let happen. And I was like, that's true. If they would have found a way to show a little bit more of her in her personal life, I think the movie would have elevated even more for me, while still keeping all the fun stuff and everything that happened. But maybe use some of that 2 hours and 30 minute runtime more into Annie and Nora and that separation instead of like chasing around the
Yeah.
young boy.
I think like
Um,
one of the things for me that I guess could have felt like it was missing during the course of the movie was when Homeboy disappears, it kind of felt like a large chunk of the movie disappeared. Like it changed,
mm,
it turned into a different movie where I had to
yeah,
readjust to what was going on. But I think that was kind of masked over in a sense how freaking funny it was when they were trying
yeah,
to find them, specifically in the scene with their she's like tied up on a couch somewhere. Like that whole sequence was hilarious. At the same
that's
time,
hilarious.
like oh, they're going to catch up to him eventually, but they don't for like the rest of the movie. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
because
kind of
in my
like
head when I was watching it, I felt the same. I was like, okay, so they're gonna go after him and like soon, right? And it just was not happening. I was like, okay, so
yeah.
this is a kidnapping movie now. Like I wasn't sure where it was
The movie
going. I was like,
turned. It was
yeah,
completely different at one point. Yeah, so I feel like
yeah,
once he left, like the scene or the movie was like, okay, so what is this movie about? So I think
yeah,
I think that was kind of like the hole that was left by his absence. But
yeah,
once you adjust to the movie, it was still pretty. It was really good, actually.
yeah. Still think it's a great film, just
Yeah, same.
not, still not best picture to me.
Hmm.
There's a theory that if it's good, they will give Dune 3 the Return of King treatment and nominate it as a cumulative prize to franchise. I hate
I've
that
heard
narrative
that
so
before.
much.
Yeah,
I'm so
I've
sick of
heard the
it.
same thing about Spider Verse trilogy. Like if
Yeah,
everyone's great, then they'll nominate that. It's like, but why don't you give it to who deserves it though? What about that?
exactly.
And they didn't do
Like
that
if it's the
nearly
best
enough.
animated movie, just give it it.
And you can tell that there's certain privileges reserved for certain directors. Like The Dark Knight was nominated. It's the second movie of a trilogy. They knew they were going to a trilogy, and
Yeah.
it still got
They
nominated
still
and
gave
won.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
it's not even that it doesn't
uh,
deserve the win. It's just that you hear that and then you look at that and you're like, hey, well, these two things don't match.
you're not consistent across the board with that
Right.
mindset. It just is a stupid mindset. I don't get the whole like I'll reward the franchise when it's done. If they're giving you bangers every year, best picture every year, everyone
Right.
else catch up.
They don't do that with
You
the
know what I mean?
Emmys. If the season's great, they
Oh
reward it.
yeah, the bear keeps winning. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Euphoria kept winning. It didn't matter that it won before. because it's still the best show on TV.
Right.
Game of Thrones kept winning because it was the best show on TV
Yep.
until a certain point. The Substance is the best movie of the year, in my opinion. A lot of people feel like that too.
Yeah. I don't blame
Timmy
you.
was breathing so heavily before announcing the winner broke my heart. Yeah, because it was a tight race.
Yep.
Um, how would you play a villain? How would you play a heroic character? I would never be a full villain if I was a villain. I'll probably be a little bit more of an anti-hero. If I'm hero, I'm more of a Peter Parker. I love Spider-Man.
If I'm a villain, I'm cold and calculating and not saying much, but continuously looking at every single aspect of every single detail. If I'm a hero, I'm the wildest nigga that you've ever met. I'm Spider Man on like personality steroids. I'm just doing whatever, and
So you're
we gonna get the job done.
Superior Spider-Man.
Uh,
When Doc Ock took over his brain and he started
yo,
wilding out.
he was wild.
When he punched Scorpion and broke his jaw, I was like, oh,
Hey,
he was like, oh,
like hey,
this is how strong he was this whole time.
right.
Oh shoot, he could have killed us anytime he wanted to.
And that's why the writing is good.
So like Kenny would pull a John Cena heel turn.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's
Definitely don't want
great.
to be.
We're gonna get back.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we're gonna get back to your questions. I want to get through some of this stuff so we can get to the ranking and get our full thoughts out. But let's
Yeah.
we're gonna show Kenny's. Did we do your best actors? No, right?
No.
We just got off. Yeah, here we go. So Kenny's best actors: Isaac Wang from Dee Dee, which is a shocker. Keith Cuff hopefully I said his name. I know I didn't say his name right. From Ghostlight, Sebastian Stan and Sebastian Stan for Different Man and The Apprentice, and Coleman Domingo would have been the winner
Yep.
from Sing Sing. So explain your list. You have a double nominee. I'm interested in that.
Uh, Suffice it to say that Sebastian Stan gave two of the greatest performances of 2024, like and literally almost back to back because those movies came out a couple weeks apart.
Yeah,
So yeah, he was great as Trump. He was great as the character in A Different Man,
yeah,
and like he was really good. I can't like expound on that. Um, Keith Kupferer was similarly great in it was similarly great in Ghostlight. I thought Ghostlight was an incredible film about art and how the art saved his life and his soul and everything else. And like, I don't want to go too much into talking about the movie because we're talking about the actor, but I thought his performance was great. The subtlety in his performance and
yeah,
the way that he just eked out slowly over time, like pain. Like you can see he was in
yeah.
pain
Ooh,
the entire
that's
movie.
a good way you said that. Eking it out. Yeah,
Yeah, because like, and then when it finally burst, it was like, man, yo, those scenes, the
hmm
culmination of those scenes when he was at the table with the lawyers and the family after
Oh man,
discussing the situation, and he had that fight. Hold on, we're not going to tear up today. That's what we're not going to do. We're going to put those
I
things
don't
back.
lie.
We're going to put those things back. So you see, that's why he got nominated.
Just talking about it making
And
us
just
feel
talking
like,
about it, making me tear up. But yeah, so he was great. I do that in therapy every time. Like my therapist recognizes it. I'll be talking about something like, well, hold on, no, we're not doing that today. All right, we going reverse. You know what I mean? Because I'll be feeling the tears like it's right there. We gonna stop this today. She'd be like, you don't have to. I'm like, look, okay. So yeah, he was phenomenal in that film. But Coleman Domingo just stands out to me. That stands apart. Honestly, I mean, obviously, I think the only person who I would probably have a problem with winning over these is Isaac Wang, although he was great in that movie.
yeah, he was really
Um,
good in that.
but he was better than Adrian Brody, in my opinion. So it's like he was that good.
Yeah,
And he's such a young actor, and he wasn't like his performance had layers as well. It wasn't just some like the entire story arc of him trying to like fit in, and especially when he was with those skateboard kids. That scene, man, when he thought he was cool by disrespecting his mom, and all the other
Yeah,
kids were like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like what?" And then they just stopped hanging out with him because he disrespected his mom. I was like, "Yo, that's crazy," because that's not the way I was expecting it to go. And then he
because
learned a
most
lesson there.
movies they don't do that.
Right,
Most movies, if you disrespect your mom, you're cool. But they were like,
right.
nah.
I was like, "Hey, man, we won't go because we don't like this." Like it was like it was such a good like subversion of subversion of expectations in that scene, and it was like and like seeing him figure it out like on his face and like with his actions of yeah, I've been
I
trying
made the wrong
to
decision.
I've been trying to like do all these things and they're not working. I thought being terrible to fit in made sense, but yeah, he was just great in that movie, and it's better than Adrian Brody. But yeah, I'm still going with Coleman Domingo, man. He was just phenomenal in Sing Sing. I don't want to filibuster this thing, so I'm gonna pass it on, pass the rock.
And by the way, he was talking about Didi. If you guys haven't seen that film, Didi, definitely check it out. It's on Peacock, I
Yeah.
believe. It's either on Peacock or Hulu.
Hmm.
And I also want to just piggyback real quick, not go too long. His mom was really good.
She
Like
was
if this
great,
was a movie that was gonna, she would have got nominated for best supporting. Like she was really
man.
good in the movie. The
She
scene in the
was,
car and in the scene in the bedroom at the end when after he ran away were very, very like very good.
yeah. I'm starting to think. Did that movie come out last year?
Really? Yeah, it came out in the summer.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute. Did
It-
that movie come out last year?
yeah, it definitely did. That's
Okay.
funny. Let's see. What's your favorite John Lithgow movie? I don't know whether he's been in.
By
John.
default, I'm gonna have to say Conclave because I don't think I've seen a lot of. Oh no, no, I've seen him in Conclave and Cliffhanger, and that's really about it. So I'll
He
probably
was
have
in
to go.
Shrek. He was in Interstellar. I'm gonna say Interstellar.
Okay, I don't remember him in his. I haven't seen Interstellar in years. But yeah, I'm gonna say Conclave for movie role. But if you ask me for John Lithgow role overall, I'm gonna say the Trinity Killer in Dexter. He was phenomenal.
Mm,
Yeah,
nice. We are doing that right now, man. It says right there in the title. February movies ranking live. I'm finally gonna watch Sing Sing at some point this week. Nice, man. You should.
good.
The Dark Knight was not nominated for Best Picture. One of the major reasons they expanded the number of nominees in the next year. Oh, okay,
Okay,
gotcha. But
I
it
thought it won
got
Best Picture
nominated for
for
Best
movie.
Supporting Actor, right?
Yeah,
And thoughts on Amelia Perez? We both didn't like the movie.
he is wax sauce.
Wax Sauce. If you just strip away the offensiveness of the film, it's just still not good. Like even
It's
if the
not
movie
good.
wasn't offensive,
Yeah,
it's just not good. Like even if they got the trans stuff and the Mexican stuff correct, the way the film is just not good. The songs are trash. The singing is not strong. It's just structured poorly. And it's anticlimactic too. That's another thing. I was like, I watched the whole movie, just blood coming out my eyes, and then it ended. I was like, I suffered for that ending. I didn't even get a ridiculous ending. Okay, Ghostlight was great. Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, it was great.
absolutely. Yep.
These are my picks for best actor: Coleman Domingo, which is obviously a continuous thing between us, Coleman Domingo. Hugh
Yep.
Grant, which I thought he was phenomenal, and he had a little bit of buzz in the beginning of the award season, and then kind of fell off.
What movie?
Sebastian Stan for Heretic.
Okay.
Um, Sebastian Stan, Timothy Chalamet, but that's for Dune, and Koji Yakusho will be the winner, and that's for Perfect Days.
Okay.
So I would keep Timothy Chalamet, but I'll switch out the movie. Keep Sebastian Stan, and I'll keep Coleman Domingo, but I'm swapping out Adrian Brody, and who else was nominated in Best Actor again in the real one?
Ralph Fiennes.
Uh, I'll swap out Ray
Ralph
Fiennes
Fiennes.
for Hugh Grant. Yeah, I really like my list. I think these are all dynamic, strong performances throughout. Obviously, you can swap in other people. There was other people that I liked them here. I think James McAvoy from Speak No Evil was phenomenal.
Boy, was
Um, Big Homie from Trap was great.
he
No matter
was.
how you feel about the movie, he was really, really good. Obviously, those are horror movies, so they're not going to get the shine. But yeah, I think Koji was very severely underlooked. I think he gave phenomenal performance and something that to me was a hard role to do. You talk about eking out pain. To piggyback off you, he did the same thing in that film, but was he didn't talk much, like, and it that movie could have been boring if he wasn't just a charismatic figure where you just kind of just wanted to follow him around for the day and see what he was up
Yeah.
to. And yeah, I really love Perfect Days, and I think most of it is because of his performance. It hangs on what he does. So I think he had the best performance as a male actor. But Sebastian Stan is right there. I think Timothy Chalamet performance in Dune, where he's this lost little puppy trying to figure out what his destiny is, and then
Hmm.
going into the Messiah and how different those were. Going from, oh
Oh
my
yeah,
God,
he
what am I
changed
doing?
completely.
Completely. Going like grabbing saying, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And looking sad boy to going, my name is Paul Atreides. And it's just
Yeah.
like commanding I was like, whoa, what a
Listen,
switch.
I
And
get
it was a
it.
switch that made sense. Yeah, man. You
Yeah.
killing it.
Oh, and I want to give a little bit of love to Chris Hemsworth for Furiosa. He was
Yes.
great in that movie.
He was great. Yeah,
Phenomenal. Yeah.
phenomenal. If Furiosa got more love, he should have got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. He was so
Yeah.
good in that movie. One of the best villains we've had in a long time.
Yep.
Okay, now we're gonna be talking about a list that's actually kind of stacked. Probably the most stacked list that we had, and one of the most controversial one. That's Best Actress.
Hmm.
Cynthia Erivo, Carla Sofia Gascon, Fernanda Torres, Demi Moore, and Mikey Madison, who actually won. Um, I've the only person. Wait, did I see everybody on this list? Oh,
Yep.
that's not. Oh, that's a sneak. Sorry, that was a sneak preview of something that you shouldn't see. Uh, I've seen everybody's performance here. Did you get to see everybody's performance here?
I've seen everyone except for I'm Still Here.
Okay. Minus that, how do you feel like with the overall list?
Not well, not my list. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah.
I think that there are some great performances that just were snubbed. But
Okay.
I do think Mikey Madison was good. I think Demi Moore was really good in her role. I got to be honest with you. I don't think Demi Moore's performance was like earth shattering to me. Like it wasn't like it
Mm,
was a good performance, and so was Margaret Qualley. Like they're
yeah.
both good in this movie. Honestly, I think Margaret Qualley was kind of better, in my opinion.
Mm.
But like, mm, and then Cynthia Erivo, I thought did a really good job in Wicked. But was it like the greatest performance I've ever seen?
Top five of the year? No. No.
No,
It's one
no.
of the better big budget performances. I'll give you that.
Yeah, like she was really good in the movie. I'm just talking about like niggas who be acting. You know what I mean? Not niggas because she's black, but like people who be acting. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like they was acting. They was out there giving performances. But I didn't think that they were the best performances. I think honestly, so Mikey Madison was great, but I think honestly, besides that, my list for actresses is pretty much completely different. Actually, I do have Demi Moore on here, and I think that part of that is because she was already here, and I didn't feel like taking her out. So, but yeah, I've
Yeah,
had
let's
that.
get right into your list since we're
Yeah,
talking about it.
yeah. So,
Um,
mhm.
go ahead. I've been doing it. Go ahead.
So I had Naomi Scott for Smile 2. I have Katie O'Brien for Love Lies Bleeding. I had Demi Moore for The Substance. I have Mikey Madison for Nora and Willa Fitzgerald for a movie in which name is Strange Darling. I personally thought that all of those performances probably, yeah. I personally thought all those performances were much more dynamic than the performances that we actually got. Even when you want to go with Smile Two, you can honestly look at the trailers of Smile Two and see that her performance is layered, dynamic. She's giving us multiple emotions and like high stress situations and so on and so forth. I thought Katie O'Brien was also. I think you can take the listen. Sorry. I think Katie O'Brien was also phenomenal in Love Lies Bleeding. And not only, and I want to give her a shout out for two things. One, I want to give her a shout out for her performance in general as she was like co-carrying the movie with Kristen Stewart, I'm sorry, who I also almost nominated here, but I chose her. But the physicality
Mhm.
for Katie O'Brien to get that ripped, to get that buff for the role. I thought that added something to the role. Of course, she was a bodybuilder, so I don't think Katie O'Brien naturally walks around like that. So
Yeah.
the commitment and the dedication to that, and like she's still like she carried herself in that way. I thought that like that was a really good performance. Willa Fitzgerald in Strange Darling is something to behold. The way that her character switches temperaments is second to none, almost like throughout this entire year. The entire movie hinges on her ability to convince you that she's one type of person when she's someone else. It's incredible. And Mikey Madison for Nora. I mean, we've talked about it at length. She was great. Demi Moore was really good. So I just thought that there were better performances, and I forget who I went with. Who did I?
Willa Fitzgerald was your winner.
Yeah, Willa Fitzgerald was my winner because of how well she convinced me and the audience that like she had us confused about the type of person that she actually was. And by the time it was revealed, it was a great it was a great experience throughout.
Yeah, and man, there's a particular scene where she's handcuffed to that freezer and she's talking to the cop, and the light is glistening off her like very hazel eyes, and she's giving a speech, and I was like, well, I was mesmerized
Yeah.
by it. I was like, this is a completely different person from the beginning of
Yep.
the movie in a way where it's like, where did this come from? And she plays the oh my god, I'm a victim so well, but
Yeah.
also plays this crazy person really well at the same time. And it's not easy to do that because some people you just can't take seriously doing either
Mhm.
or. Like you're like, no, you're always crazy. Like I can't take Toni Collette serious as a damsel in distress. Like I've seen you
Never.
play crazy too much.
Right.
I've seen you play strong too much. It's not fair to you, but that's just, being typecast in a way where, like, I've seen you play a mafia boss. Like, I can't see you. I'm like, just shoot him. What are you doing? But Willa
Yeah.
Fitzgerald has impressed me from Reacher season one. She caught my eye from there, and just seeing her to be able to perform like this, I do agree that she should have been nominated for something throughout the season, even if it was just a Golden Globe. This movie had so much hype, and I don't know what happened halfway through the year. It kind of just petered out. I don't know what happened,
Mhm.
but I like your list a lot. I agree with it. I think my list is different. Let's get into mine's. Yeah, it is different. I have Amy Adams for Night Bitch. We both have Mikey Madison on for Nora. Julia Garippi for Red Rooms, which is also a dynamic performance and one that confused the shit out of me. Demi Moore for The Substance, which so just the two people we both have. And then Lily Rose Depp. And if you watch my personal award show, the Zach Attack Movie Awards, you already know that I thought she had the best performance of a female this year. Lily Rose Depp is the winner for me. She would have won if it was my award show. But yeah, I thought these were the best female performances I saw. But also, I was thinking about how the Academy is, and if who would it? Because like, if it wasn't the Academy, Naomi Scott would have been up here. I think she was phenomenal. Just like you did in Smile 2, I would have had her up here, but there was no way they were going to nominate a horror movie like that. Um,
They definitely weren't nominating a horror movie sequel.
oh my God. They were dying just nominating Dune 2, so they were never nominated Smile 2. But yeah, like just all these performances are super dynamic. If you haven't seen Red Rooms, definitely check it out. It's on streaming now. I think it might be Peacock or something like that. But it's
Mhm.
a creepy ass movie. We talked about Mikey at nauseum, to me at nauseum. Lily Rose Depp, if you saw Nosferatu, you know what she's about.
Yeah.
Dynamic. Talk about damsel distress to scary. Just like Willa Fitzgerald, he has that range as well. Um, and Amy Adams, a lot of people didn't get to see Night Bitches on Hulu right now. I think she had a great movie carrying performance in it. Amy Adams is so underrated. No one really talks about her often and how good she is, but she was so phenomenal capturing the struggles of motherhood in a way that I haven't seen. I do
Mhm.
think that we've got a surgence of motherhood storylines, and I think that she does a great job. Um, like it's displaying the spectrum of how much, like even if you have a loving husband that's there, how hard it is being a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
and it hinges on her performance, and she does a great job. Does she play a great dog? Probably not, but she's
Okay.
great in the film. Let me see what the comments is, and then we're gonna get the best director. Excited to see Zach watch movies from 1991 and 1992. Good years for movies. So, now that you said that, what I think I'm gonna do is after I review Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, I think I'm going to go back in time and start reviewing movies from the past and make my way up.
Hmm.
Um, I think instead of just doing random movies, I think that will help and actually inform my movie history as well. So that's my plan for Throwback Thursdays, or I don't even know if I'm going to call it that because I don't want to hinge it on Thursdays. But what's up?
1 second. I've gotten a phone call from a phone number 3 straight times, and that's usually not a good sign. I'll
Go ahead.
be right back.
I'll talk to the chat. Furiosa! I love Furiosa. Should Timmy do Link voice in Zelda movie? Timothy Chalamet. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at Timothy Chalamet doing the Link voice, but I think the Zelda movie is going to be live action. So I don't know if he would look great as Link in live action. What are your picks for next year? I have no idea. The only person I can say right now is Sonequa Green Martin as Best Actress, but there's no way that's happening. But she gave a great performance in a movie that we're talking about later. Is my dead best friend Zoe. But other than that, I don't have anything else. All the movies that's come out so far have been good to okay. Like I only have two movies that I think are great, and I know they're not getting nominated for anything. CC Clemens, she's editing. What are you editing, CC? But chiming in and say, I didn't like the outcome of Dune 2. Like, oh, okay, you're gonna do my girl Chani like that? A wife? Oh, okay. I feel you. I know a lot of people were upset how he did Chani. But at least it's better than the book. Because in the book, Chani was just down. She was like, okay, you married this other girl, and I'm just kind of your concubine. So I'm kind of glad that they gave her more personality and she's more rebellious. What was the first movie you remember seeing in cinemas? First movie I remember seeing in movies, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. For me, it was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. That's a great one right there, man. Do you work in the movie or movie publicity industry? No, I do not. I wish I did. That's the plan. That's the goal to get into the industry and do that. Me and Kenny have a little bit of insider with like some small companies when we get to see certain movies, but we're not in the industry yet. That's the goal, though. Do you watch Yellow Jackets besides Sophie Turner, who's a young talent to watch on the program in your opinion? Who's a young talent to watch on that program? I do watch Yellow Jackets. I haven't watched the newest season. I think that show has a lot of talented girls other than Sophie Thatcher. I think Ella Parnell, who was in what was the name of that show? Fallout, is someone to be on the watch out. I think she's a little older than them though. Sophie Nellis, who's one of the main characters, but Courtney Eaton, who plays kind of the bad guy, everybody should be on the lookout for her. I think that she plays a dynamic on that show, and then I saw her in another movie, and she was a completely different person, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, so she can act that." So she should be on the lookout. And then Sammy Hanratty, who plays the young Christina Ricci, she's another one that people should be on the lookout for. She's really great. That cast is really really strong. And I feel like I'm missing somebody. There's why is the black girl? Oh, Jasmine Savoy Brown, but he
Hmm.
was already in the screencast. She's on her way up. She's part of core four. Even though I guess core two, because only two of them are coming back. So I'm back, about to watch Daredevil, eat breakfast for dinner. Eating breakfast for dinner is always awesome.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, everything's good.
Everything's good. That was Uber Eats calling for my wife 3 times.
We got to change the number.
No, we just use the same account. So they
Gotcha.
typically call my phone.
Gotcha, gotcha. Thank God it wasn't nothing serious.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're getting to the last award for the night, and that's Best Director. Off the bat, I already can tell you this list is annoying because it does not have Denis on it. But Brady Colbert for The Brutalist, Jack Keza for Amelia Perez, which is insane. James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Coraline Farjay for The Substance, and Sean Baker for Nora, who is the winner. And Sean Baker made history as the only person to win 5 awards for the same movie in one Oscar night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only person else to do it was Walt Disney, but it wasn't for the same movie. He won for multiple different movies in the same.
That that checks out. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you think about this Best Director list, man?
Solid list. I have to see it again. I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad.
It's all
Best
good.
Director. Yeah,
Who's it? Was it Coraline? Forget direct
Substance.
and Brady Colbert.
Brutalist.
Yeah, let's get him out of here. Other than that, I'm really good with Sean Baker. Honestly, out of all the nominees, Sean Baker was the best choice for me because he kind of Sean Baker or Farget because Farget's direction was incredible in The Substance. I really enjoyed that film, and I would not have interestingly enough, I would not have been mad if Fargo actually won Best Director just because of all the subtleties and all the and not even the subtleties, the grotesqueness, the overindulgence that was beating you over the head. I'm good on the list now. That was beating you over the head. And I know a lot of people who had watched it said that it felt like it was too much, but that was kind of the point. Like it's all too
Yeah.
much. So I really enjoyed that film. But I'm good with Sean winning. I think that he did a great job with Honora. Yeah. Overall, feels like a weak list.
On a
Um,
good list.
yeah, and I feel like we've said that kind of like about every category, almost every category. I think the strongest list of the entire Oscars, other than the short films and the documentaries, because I didn't get a chance to watch those, was animation. That was the strongest list.
Yeah. I
It
wouldn't
was
have been mad
great.
if anything won. Any of those
Yeah,
movies won, and I'd be like, you know what?
yeah. And you know what? There was one that was I kept debating on whether or not it was missing, if it was right to be left off, and that's Transformers One because
Yeah.
that freaking good in the latter half of the movie.
Yeah.
If the latter half of the movie is reflective of the first half of the movie, it's oh happy go
Just
lucky,
did it
we're
on there.
just racing cars and we're trying to get the spark. It's like all right, but the where
Get this.
but where it ended up with Megatron and Optimus becoming who they would become, like I thought the movie was great. It ended up being great,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was great throughout. I thought it was,
Yeah.
this is good. You know what I mean? It was like it took a
Yeah.
minute, but animation to me was the strongest category. I know that's off topic, but yeah,
And I think some of the technical awards were stronger than some of the bigger awards.
yeah,
Like best production design. I was looking, I was like, I don't know who the hell to give this to.
yeah,
Like, so all these movies had amazing production design, so I get that.
yep,
But yeah, international, not international, best animated was probably the hardest one, and Flow
mhm,
won, and I'm not even mad at it. That was an incredible film. Here
yeah,
are your nominees for best director: Sean Baker,
uh
Luca
huh,
Guadagnino.
yep,
I hope I spelled his name right. John M. Chu, which was a shock to me, but it makes sense because you love Wicked. Ramel
hmm
Ross for Nickel Boys, which is great, and Denis Villeneuve for Doom Part Two, who you pick as the winner. So the only person here that is nominated in the real list is Sean Baker. So you're basically just swapping out everybody with Sean
yeah. There's too many movies I saw that were just better than not better, but there are too many movies I saw that
Baker,
yeah,
directed.
it was directed better. I almost put Stranger Darling on here as well.
Mm,
I felt like I had seen movies like that before. A lot of
mm,
the reason for my choices were movies that I felt like I hadn't seen anything like that before, or
gotcha.
were on so much on the epic side that they were hard to ignore. which is why Dune and Wicked made the list. Dune just deserves to be here, and I believe I picked Dune as my winner.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and for the director of Nickel Boys, I've never seen anything like that before. If you guys don't know,
Yeah.
Nickel Boys is from the POV of the character, right? You're seeing what they're seeing the entire time, and it switches from character to character when necessary. And I just had never seen anything like that before, and I had never seen anything like that done before. Plus, it was done well, right? There's plenty of movies I've never seen anything like. There was a movie that came out a few years
Of
ago,
violent nature.
A Violent Nature. I'd never seen anything like that before. It was not good. So, but I appreciate the attempt, but it just didn't turn out well, right? And the same thing for, I know me and you feel differently about this, but Presence was another one. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
this is not it. And but the one I was thinking of was, I think it was like Hardcore Henry from a few years ago.
Oh yeah, the action movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I had never seen anything like that before. That movie, I couldn't wait to turn it off. Right. So it was like, yeah, but Upgrade kind of did that, but was better. You know what I mean? So it was like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I chose Doom Part 2. I just feel like these movies are in general better than what was chosen. And also Wicked, a movie that I did not want to see at all until
Right.
including the day that I saw it. And I walked out like that was amazing. Like you have to swing. There has to be a gigantic swing in my opinion for that to happen, right? So
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
got to,
Wicked is, I have to give it credit. That's the movie, one of the only movies that I went in. Impress me.
yeah,
And then I came out like, this is great. So like you gotta
yeah,
like I had poop all on my nose from brown nosing on that film. Like
yeah,
it was so good. Like I don't
mhm,
think it's best picture worthy in my opinion, but I do think it's a great film.
yeah.
And I
And
had
then
a really good time.
at the end of that movie, when Cynthia Erivo is going ham and she's,
Oh my god.
I'm like, take me. I
Defying
feel like I'm being
gravity.
raptured. I'm like, take me away. Like, yeah. And then so much so that Wicked Part Two, or Wicked for Good, which is a terrible title, jumped all the way up to my top 10 most anticipated movies of this year because I can't wait to
First
see how
trailer
this.
coming next week.
Really? Oh, I'm excited.
Yes. Yep, yep, yep. But yeah, I think this is a strong list. I think it's stronger than what we got. I think you have a mixture of popular movies, unseen movies, and like movies people love. Like people love Challengers, but for whatever reason they didn't put it on here. People love
Yep.
Honora. Denis and John direct two of the most popular movies of the year. And Nickel Boys is a movie that needs to get highlighted because how great it is. So I think you have a very, very strong list. Before I get to the comments, let me look at my list. So mine's were Luca Guadagnino for Challengers, George Miller for Furiosa, because for somebody to be 80 years old and direct a movie like
Yeah.
that, a Odyssey, a biblical Odyssey like that, I think is very impressive. Coraline
Hmm.
Farjah, because a movie like that that's so in your face, like The Substance, could easily be trash. And she made, to me, one of the best body horror movies that we've gotten in years. Robert Eggers masterfully weaves a gothic horror film with Nosferatu and tells a story that's been told two or three times already and still made it feel fresh. And my winner is Dune Part 2. I've been singing the high praises for Dune. I'm not going to go into it. I've been talking about it all night, but he should have been nominated as best director. I don't care if he wasn't going to win. He should have been nominated at
Yeah.
least, especially over someone like the guy who did Amelia Perez, who made a bad musical.
Yeah. Two people on your list that I
Um,
totally agree with are George Miller and the gentleman who directed Nosferatu.
Robert Eggers, yeah,
Yeah, Robert Eggers, because you like, especially George Miller, who's a person who I almost had on my list as well.
yeah,
That movie's phenomenal, and he does such a good job at making it worthwhile. Do you know how hard it is to make a movie set in the desert interesting? Like that's not easy, right? So,
not.
uh,
And we got two in
right,
one year.
he did it twice. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we got two in the same year. So yeah, like it's that good. And Robert Eggers, man, like just seeing the movie and watching the, not the cathedral but the castle breathe. Oh my god! Like it
An
was,
extension of the
yeah,
monster. That was nuts.
Too good. Too good. Yep.
Too good. So that's the ending of our Oscar talk. Should have put up the graphic for the Oscar watch. I forgot next year. But this was really, really fun. Drop in the comments down below and let us know if you're watching afterwards, how you feel about the overall show and how you felt about everything. And let's go to the comments and then we'll move into our February ranking and then let you guys go. Let's see. The first movie I saw was Cars 2. Damn, you're young. Um,
What? What?
I know.
I'm old.
Uh, Me too. It's been 3 full years. He has 7 years to go? Will Will Smith go to the Oscars in 7 years when his ban expires, or will he be brought back sooner, or refuse to go, or what will transpire? That's a good question.
It's a great question.
Um, Wait, how old is Will Smith right now? That's not my determining.
That is
It
a
might
good
not
question.
matter, but he's 56, which he looks amazing for 56.
Yeah.
In 7 years, he'll be 63. I think he still will look really good because Tom Cruise is a little older than him. Brad Pitt's a little older than him. And they look good still. I think that in 7 years, I think he might be able to pull off a role that will get nominated for an Oscar in
For
7.
sure. For sure. Anthony
So,
Hopkins was nominated, what, 2 years ago?
yeah, that is very, very true. And he won't have to play like an old man in dementia to do that.
Right.
Um, Yeah, I think he will go. I think he understands it was his mistake. It wasn't like he was discriminated against. It wasn't like it was a misunderstanding. It
Right.
wasn't like something he did something very publicly very wrong.
Right.
Um, and I think if they invite him back, which I don't even think they wanted to ban Will Smith. I think it was a situation where they're like, we have to make a statement. We can't have people smacking our presenters. Um,
I mean, that's true.
yeah,
You can't go around smacking your presenters or having your
yeah.
presenters
Imagine
get
if Carla would have went up there and smacked Conan. Like that would have been crazy.
I've been insane.
But like, you know why I don't feel like they wanted to? Because he did it and they let him sit there and then win.
Right. He
Spinning
definitely,
winning that would have been Will Smith.
and that's why I felt so like it was. I felt bad for him, but more than bad for him, I was upset with him because
Yeah,
you fucked that up. Like you did that, right?
yeah,
And I get it. I understand what transpired. I think the punishment was way too strong, but like especially in
yeah,
comparison to like what other people have done and have graced that stage, like I
yeah.
feel like y'all wilding with like 10 years. Who y'all think y'all
10
are,
years.
right?
10 years is a lot. Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, you can't go around smacking people in general. And man, like the reason why I feel bad for
Camera.
him is it was the biggest night of his career.
Yeah.
He's screwed that up, which is why I feel bad, but I also don't feel. It's like it's one of those weird things. Like it's like your sibling doing something
Mm,
obnoxiously stupid and ending up getting arrested on the day of their graduation. It's like, damn, I wish
mm.
you would have experienced your graduation. But why the hell would you steal something from Target? Like, what were you thinking? Like, it's like it's one of those kind of things, right? So,
Perfect analogy. I think it's a harsh punishment, but I get it why they went so harsh because it deter anyone from ever doing it again. Because
yeah,
honestly, because after he did that, a couple comedians got rushed on stage, so I felt like it was going to be a trend
yeah,
starting, and we didn't need that. Especially the one that rushed Dave Chappelle because he had a knife. Um, but it was a mistake that happened where it was out of his character. It's not like Will Smith is this violent
he ain't
human
going
being,
around
have a
smacking
past.
people, right?
Yeah, well, he did smack somebody before on camera, but it was
That
reasonable.
person tried to kiss him.
That's why I said it was reasonable. Why are you
Yeah,
kissing me?
like
I don't care what
yeah,
country I'm in.
that's assault.
But yeah, you know what I mean. It's not like he just be doing it all the time. The thing is, people do fight at these award shows. Years later, you always hear someone got into a fight, Grammys and Oscars. He should have saw Chris Rock later at the party and just smacked him up there. But
Yeah, he could have waited.
yeah, I definitely think he will come back.
If he would have
Uh,
accepted the award and said, "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth," up there, no one cares. Well, not that no one
yeah,
cares, but it's like,
yeah.
yeah, at least you didn't
There would
hit.
have been side eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like Zendaya was probably like, nah. Yeah, I'm 100% sure Zendaya was like, I'm not being no a willing concubine. Get the hell out of here with that.
Mm-mm.
You better make me rebellious. Wicked movie reaction for editing. Nice.
Nice.
That would be so great, Zach. You're very talented and nice. I thank you so much. That's
You
such a
deserve
nice
it.
comment to say.
You deserve it.
Appreciate that. And Kenny too. Yeah, let's give him throw him a little flower. What are you most looking for in March? Mickey 17.
Yeah, Mickey 17. Um, I guess that's technically cheating. So I mean, it's kind of Mickey 17.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you already saw it. So
Yeah. Let me see if
when's
I
that
can
review
pull it.
coming out, sir?
I haven't
Well, let
been
me
behind.
fly to Philly and whoop your ass. You know what I mean?
I haven't been behind a camera in forever. I haven't been in an editing booth in forever. I really wish I would
Yeah.
have did that. Those stash reviews that I planned on doing, because you would have been seeing some by now. I'd have been like, hey, y'all can have this, and that would have been it. But I'm assuming that I'm going to write it probably Wednesday night, shoot it maybe Wednesday night, and it probably won't be out until like Friday. I know I got a
That's
head
fair.
start, but I got work, man. I'm not like,
Yo, I
you know what
feel
I
you.
mean? Like we're not like those people who get like, oh, I saw it early. It was like so I could put it out immediately. It's like, no, I saw it early, and I went home and I was tired and I watched Monday Night Raw, whatever I could, finish it, and then I had to get up to go to work the next day, and now I'm live streaming,
You
and
still
then
gotta enjoy your life.
right, I'm about to go watch Daredevil, and then I'm probably going to bed after that. Like it's not about to be a whole bunch of that. So, which is
I
why
feel
we
you.
were talking about earlier before we got on camera, editors. Like if I had an editor, I would have been filming that joint, just sent that joint off. But because I have to do
There you
everything,
go.
it feels like a mountain. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Thumbnail, SEO. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yep.
It's a lot. I get it. You know, we've had toilless nights discussing this
Yep.
grinding.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, we have a lot of comments coming in. We're gonna get to those. We're gonna get to our last topic, and then we're gonna answer as much as we can before we head out. But yeah, we used to do K to Z movies where we would rank each month on Sundays. This will now be encompassing in the first film club of the month, where we rank the movies that we saw the previous month. And here we go. We saw collectively 9 movies. And the first one we're going to be talking about is the one that only Kenny saw. I just unfortunately just skipped out.
Is it possible to get
So
rid of
use
that
it.
that ad?
How do I, oh, this opens Amazon. Oh no. Oh, that looked like a virus. No, don't do that to me. Doesn't look like it.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, it's not giving me a choice to exit out.
We'll just have to give it free
Um,
pub then. That's fine.
yeah, see pub. So the first movie on the list, and here's the description, is the Spref. If it'll pop up. There we go.
The true story of seasoned deep the true story of seasoned deep sea divers who battle the raging elements to rescue a crewmate who's trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface. This movie's good. It's good, but it's good. Like, and that's kind of where the line ends. Like, it's a solid film. It's not so. I before I saw it, I was comparing it based on the trailers to a movie I saw a few years ago called I think it's Deepwater Horizon, which is
Mm.
phenomenal and very underrated film about a true story about like an oil rig that caught fire and how they had to like uh, uh, do that or rescue the
Save
situation.
everyone.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
save everyone. It starred Mark Wahlberg, and it was actually really good. But this one was good. It was solid. I did enjoy it. I feel like because it was a true story, they tried to like the some of the more dramatic parts you could feel kind of like we need to make this more dramatic for
Mm,
audiences and
yeah.
yeah, but and honestly when you watch the movie and you finish watching it, you kind of almost feel like, oh, this is a this is a movie you can tell the story of verbally in maybe like 10 to 15 minutes, but the
Mm,
movie has to be
touches
movie
it.
length, right? So, yeah, so you kind of feel it, you know what I mean? But it's still a good movie, but it's a movie that after today, unless somebody brings it up, I'll never think about it again. But it's
Gotcha.
not a bad movie by any stretch, right? So, and it's
So
also good
this sounds like
yeah.
a
Uh,
matinee or a
stream, stream,
stream. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So the next movie up is The Gorge.
Hmm.
Um, The Gorge is 25 American science fiction and romantic action film directed by Scott Derrickson and written by Zach Dean. It stars Miles Teller, Anya Taylor-Joy, Sigourney Weaver. Teller and Joy portray two elite snipers who order to guard a deep gorge without knowing what's inside. Um, yeah, this film surprised me. I went into it like, oh, there's an Apple streaming movie. They don't have the best track record with movies in general, where it's like a high level. Like you're like, oh, this could go in theaters. And I watched it and I was like, why watching this at home?
Yep.
I should be watching this, and this is really, really good.
Had
Has
the
two
same
really
thought.
great actors. It looks good. The tension is good. The practical effects are good. The VFX weren't too bad. The romance was strong. The action wasn't too bad either. It had enough weirdness to make it stand out just a bit. I thought The Gorge was a really strong movie that I would have been fine watching it in theaters.
Yeah, I had a great time with the Gorge. I had the exact same response that you did. Like, why am I not watching this in a movie theater right now? Same thing I had for Extraction 1 and 2. I was like, yo, why am I not in the theater for this? But yeah,
Especially too.
everything you said, I echo the exact same way. I really did like the once you get into the gorge and kind of
Yeah.
like go around the gorge. I thought that that was really intriguing and like because a lot of times because what you could do is go into the gorge and just be completely unimpressed and be like, oh, that's what's in here, man, whatever. But it was actually really exciting, and it was less about what was in the gorge and more about, hey, how are these two characters who I really enjoy going to get out of here? And are they going to get out of here? Right. So I really enjoyed it from that aspect. Yeah. And it set up good lore, good sci fi build, and all that other stuff. Both the characters were distinct and also like brought a lot to the table. So yeah, it's a good setup. Good setup. And I miss like really simple movies like this where it's just like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So yeah, it was
You don't
really,
got to be deep.
yep.
Yeah, there was a lot of aspects of like you talked about the gorge. You drop into there. Usually, movies like this, if it's cheap or want to be mysterious, it'll make it like real hazy, so you can't even see anything. But you can see stuff in the gorge and how it looks and what was going on. When he first drops in there and sees the giant spider thing, I almost turned the shit off. I ain't gonna lie. Uh,
Yeah,
and then he falls into like the Venus flytrap thing. That was cool. Then the horsemen's were cool. Everything,
yep,
all the little monsters, the spiders with one eyeball. It was like a lot of little cool, crazy, creepy things throughout. Even the kind of Last of Us kind of thing they had to go through with the tree people that were kind of acidic. That
yeah,
was really
that
really
was wild.
cool.
Yep,
That was wild. Them going up a mountain on a car. That was a cool sequence.
yep,
Yeah, so they had a couple cool, definitely cool sequences towards the end of the film, especially when they dropped what they dropped in there and the explosion happened.
yeah.
And it had a happy ending. I heard some people said, "Oh, it should have had ended on like a sad ending." I was
I was actually happy that it had a happy ending. Like I was cool. I
yeah,
was elated for them. Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah.
I wanted these two people to survive.
Hmm. And they did.
Like, I just didn't like the black guy was the first
Yeah.
one to die, like in every horror
Yeah.
movie.
Right. It was like, hey, man. And I felt it. I sensed it. I was like, they gonna kill this man.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
he's the first to go.
yep.
I'll say The Gorge is a strong matinee.
Huh.
How about you?
I
Full
was
price?
gonna. I almost went full price, but let's see. Let me see compared to the rest of these movies. Ooh.
Mm,
I'm gonna say matinee.
Okay. You can move it around after.
Yeah.
Move it around after. So we're gonna put that as a matinee. So go check that out. Well, it's on streaming. Just go check it out. So matinee for streaming means you are off of work and you want something to watch. Watch the Gorge. You won't be disappointed. It's not a
Yeah.
bad movie at the least. This film I'm gonna be watching this week. I haven't seen it yet. It's finally on streaming. I went to go see Love Hurts instead. Is Hard Eyes. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Read the description.
A masked maniac with glowing red eyes returns every Valentine's Day to slaughter unsuspecting couples. When the cynical ad when the cynical ad executive and her hopelessly romantic colleague become the next target, they decide to fight back and end the reign of terror.
Sorry, it was starting to poll while you were reading. I apologize.
Oh, good, man.
Cool. Tell me
So,
about Love, not Love Hurts, Hard Eyes.
yo, fun as hell. Hard
Yeah.
Eyes does something that I absolutely love and will talk about a lot when it comes to horror movies or slasher films or however you want to call it is lore. And they do a really good job of establishing the lore, sticking with the rules of it, letting me know, building up great characters that go up against the slasher. The slasher has a really cool design, and it's very funny. It's also a very funny movie. And one of the best things about this movie is its humor, but also how it kind of strays away from a lot of like the campiness, the cheesiness of a lot of slashers and things like that. It has this almost grounded, but not grounded in the way that people say grounded. It's more like, yo, there's a slasher like here right now. This is probably how this would go because this is
Mm,
slashers are weird people. It's like, yo, what are you doing? Like this is dumb. Like why are you know what I mean? So it has a lot of that kind of like um that energy to it, almost like a scream in a sense, where it's like Scream is so unique in that we live in a world where people are aware of the existence of like slashers and slasher movies and things of that nature. And one of the best parts about this movie is that the slasher is not a secret. It's well known that this person comes and strikes every Halloween. So during not Halloween, Valentine's Day. So during Valentine's Day, hey, we heard the slasher might be around in town. He was in Philly last year, in Seattle this year. Y'all stay inside now. And then you got people who are like, man, we're not going to let this ruin our holiday, our Valentine's Day. And then they end up dead. So it's like, it's one of those types of things. So, and the two leads are incredible. They got great chemistry. So
yeah.
yeah, Hard Eyes is great, man. Really enjoy it. Would love to see a sequel. If I would love to see a sequel if they decide to. If they don't decide to, totally fine with it. It's one of those types of movies. It's like this is really good.
I think a sequel should be coming. It's still in theaters and making money.
Hmm.
And Valentine's Day passed a long time ago, so it's a
Yep,
possibility. As someone that hasn't seen it, and you hype me up to go check this out now. Question I have: we have a couple holiday slashers. We have Halloween, clearly, and
yep.
you also have Thanksgiving, which came out last year or the year before that.
I didn't see that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so so where would you say in terms of holiday slashers does this rank to you in terms of like?
You
If it's the
can't beat.
beginning of a new Halloween?
No, no. It's
No.
not. It's not that good. It's good.
Okay.
It ain't that good. You know what I mean? Halloween is fun. Halloween's a classic. It's phenomenal. I think this movie
Yeah.
would be a very good. This movie will be like your a movie that you told me about last year that I watched. Not Happy Death Day, but it was a different one. Um,
I told you to watch.
young lady who can really act, facial expressions. She was in that Azrael
Oh,
movie
what?
from last
Wait,
year.
wait. Oh, the wedding thing when she got married and they chased her.
Yeah, that. It's
Samara
going to be
Weaving. I know what
yeah,
you're talking
it's going to be around that area of that was really good.
about. Got you.
With a
What
high
is it
pitch.
called? Ready or
That
not?
was really good. You know what I mean? You're gonna
Yeah.
watch out, walk out of the theater, or stream like, hey, all right, we had a good time with this one. And then, or
Yeah,
Halloween is like, yo, classic official. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, let's rank it. Well, you rank it because I ain't see it.
I would say full price. I really enjoyed this movie.
Wow. Okay. I'm really excited to check it out now.
Wait. Madness. I keep saying that, and then I see a movie on our list that's like, no, this is different. So I would say this is better than the Gorge.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm really mad this ad is up here.
Yeah.
Why can't it just stay here? Why does it have to come down on my list?
What are you
Um,
selling? Protein powder? It could be
we all
worse.
need protein. Yeah, yeah, it could be a lot worse. This is a movie we both saw, and we both I think we have different opinions on, but
Mhm.
not like super drastically. Like it's not I like this is great, and you're like this sucks. It's kind of like really close. And that's The Monkey. So two brothers find a mysterious wind-up monkey. A series of outrageous deaths tear their family apart. 25 years later, the monkey begins a new killing spree, forcing the estranged siblings to confront the cursed toy. Yeah, tell me how you feel about The Monkey.
This movie is awful. Um, this movie is horrendous. And how can I put it? So it's not horrendous because of production design. Everything looks great. It's not horrendous because of the acting. The acting is pretty good, actually. The movie's horrendous because I became numb towards the third act of the film because of
Mhm.
all the gore that was happening. I'm not squeamish when it comes to gore at all. Because of all the gore that was happening and the lack of significant story that actually made me care about these characters, like people were dying. I'm like, man, whatever. And then if towards the end of the movie, I felt like the goal wasn't to tell a story. The goal was to see how crazy of a kill I can make, and that's not interesting to me. If you can do that
Yeah,
while telling a good story, then I'm with you. You got me right.
yeah.
One of the movies that I'm just thinking of this now, but one of the movies that I look at when that has that is Jeepers Creepers and Jeepers Creepers 2. Like both
Mhm.
of those movies had really good kills, especially the last kill of the first Jeepers Creepers movie. But it was also telling a really good story, and like, or really like Jeepers Creepers 2 was telling a fun story. The first one was telling a really good story. They are
Yeah,
different, but they were both like really engaging in that way. But this movie, man, I could not care less about any of these characters. And no matter how good, it's like it would be akin to watching a Fast and the Furious movie and it's got all these car crashes. It's like watching a Dwayne the Rock Johnson movie, right? Like it's expensive. It's got all these cool like crashes, and they're doing the turns, and they're whipping. And you got missiles and all this blah blah, blah. And the people are transforming, and there's espionage, and people revealing themselves, and it's like and the production's really good, and Gal Gadot's over here, and Chris Evans is over here, and it's like, man, I don't give a fuck about any of this. Like none of this shit matters. Like it all looks good. It's glistening, but none of this shit. I don't care, right? And that's how I
yeah.
felt about watching the monkey.
Gotcha. I have similar. So you think it's trash? I thought it was really good, not great, because I had a fun time. But like you said, I started getting numb to. Well, I don't even think I got numb to the violence. I still enjoyed the violence up until the end, but I didn't realize until the movie ended that I was like, oh, I don't care about any of these characters. Like
Right.
because they didn't give me an option to. Like they started with these young kids, and I think that they should have stuck with the young kids because I think that that would have been a more interesting story.
That
These young
time is
kids dealing with
killing
this monkey,
everybody.
yeah, keep coming back and everything. And the twin aspect was really interesting and how they were utilizing that and the camera tricks with that. Tatiana Maslany, Miss She-Hulk herself, was cool in the movie as well as the mother. They had like a cameo from the guy from Severance, and he was cool and kind of funny in it. But once we jump 25 years later and we have the adult versions, and they don't seem similar to the kids' versions at all.
At all.
Um, and the dynamic of like, oh, I don't want to have my kid around me because something might happen to, like, the problem with that dynamic is that nothing has happened to any of your loved ones that's around you since you dumped it there. So why would you not spend with your kid? So that story beat made it weird. If it was a thing of like between that 25 years, the monkey would just randomly pop up in their lives and they explain that, then I'm like, okay, that makes sense because like, why would I keep my son around me if this thing just keeps killing people around me?
Right.
And that the story was just really a letdown in terms of what it could have been. It could have been a stronger story. And this could have been one of the best movies of the year. I thought it was just a really fun time that I laughed throughout and I had fun with the kills and some of the scary moments and some of the quirkier moments. I think like the bee kill at the and towards the end was really funny to me, and things like that. But character wise, couldn't care less. I thought I was going to start caring about the son. They didn't do nothing with him.
Nope.
He literally became useless in the third act. Once they
Useless.
enter the house, he's just standing there, nothing. He does nothing, right?
Right.
Like, so like, and that was kind of like, okay, you guys are the story hit a impasse, and it just nothing. It couldn't get past that impasse. It was just circling this wheel. So
Yeah.
I still had a good time. I didn't think it was trash because I had a good time, but it's not a great film.
No.
So for me personally, I would say it's a stream.
The stream is fine with me.
A stream is fine with you. I'll put it behind the last breath because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And I put a poll in. Let me know which one you think is better, Hard Eyes or um, The Monkey, because I think more people like that movie than hate it. Up next, speaking of, is the movie that I saw instead of Hard Eyes, Love Hurts.
Mm.
Your turn.
Uh, huh? Oh, okay. My bad. Uh, I can't see behind the live thing, so I'm going to Marvin. Marvin is a Milwaukee realtor who received a crimson envelope from Rose, a former partner in crime whom he left for dead. He now finds
Oh,
himself
they,
thrust. he now finds himself. He now finds himself thrust into a world of ruthless hitmen and double crosses that turn his open houses into deadly war zones. Hunted by his brother, a volatile crime lord, Marvin must confront the choices that haunt him and the history he never truly buried.
all right. Tell me how you feel about this movie, man.
If I'm a former assassin or a former member of the mob or any kind of gang or anything of that nature, and I want to get away from that life. I've decided that life is no longer for me. Why would I stay in the exact same city in which all this occurred? Somebody has to explain that to me. Um, like I want to get away from my brother, but I'm gonna move down the street. Um, but yeah, so this movie is just such a letdown. I was so excited for Kiyu Kwan and him having the starring role, and I thought that another holiday movie, by the way, another Valentine's Day
Yeah,
movie. By the way.
yeah,
Like I thought the so here's where I give it credit. I thought the action was good. I thought the action was actually pretty good. I thought Marshawn Lynch was really funny and really engaging in it. I
yeah,
thought that Q Kwan was had great. All the fights were great. Actually, the more I think about it, all the fights were phenomenal. Right, but the
yeah,
same thing that we talked about with the monkey, the story is just ass. Like the story is
yeah,
awful. And unfortunately, the worst character in this movie is Ariana DeBose's character of Rose. She
yeah,
makes zero sense. And she's not only the worst character because, like, she's not only just like the worst character, but she's also the worst human. Not Ariana DeBose, but the character.
yeah.
Because yeah, we know his brother is like out to get
No person.
him or get
Yeah,
revenge. She comes into his life and is like, "Are you happy? You're not really happy. Why wouldn't you rather run from thugs, gangsters, and assassins with me? That's your true life. Like, girl, get away from me."
the
And by the
chemistry
end
was
of the
not
movie,
good.
yeah, their chemistry was awful. And by the end of the movie, I'm sitting here like, she didn't improve his life at all. As a matter of fact,
Not even a smidgen. Not
what
even a smidgen.
what happens to his boss because she comes back into his life is the worst thing in the movie. His
Yeah.
boss didn't deserve that. His boss was a great person, right? So
Yeah.
this whole movie is just kind of like it was just a miss. And also, I did not care or believe the brother dynamic at all. I just don't believe it. I was like, if you're not trying to kill your brother. Like let's be for real. Like your brother he's going on, he's doing the real estate thing now. You're like, oh, you got to come back and work for me, man. Shut up. My brother Larry, I don't have a brother or sister. My brother Larry, he no longer wants to be an assassin. He went and did some pottery. All right, man, go do some pottery. Go live your life. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
no stitch.
this whole movie is just built on people who are making decisions that literally make zero sense. But the fights were great.
No.
The fights were awesome. And
Ice are great.
one
Hmm.
character who was really great was Raven. Raven was awesome. I really enjoyed the Raven
How's
character.
Mustafa Shakir?
Yeah, cool, really cool character.
Yeah.
Weird,
Yeah.
but cool.
Weird.
What did you think about the movie?
Yeah. Yeah. I have similar sentiments. I think all the characterizations were great in terms of like how over exaggerated and fun they were. I liked his assistant was really fun. Like
Yeah.
you said, Raven was really fun. Ki Ha Kwan is a great leading man, and it sucks that after his Oscar win, this is his first film that he did. Fun
Mhm.
fact: he turned this movie down twice, and Steven Spielberg told him he should do it, and that's why he did it. Don't take career advice from this man, clearly, because
Yeah.
if you're not directing it, don't tell me to go do it.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and yeah, so like he was great in the movie as well. He was believable. Just the chemistry between him and DeBose never made me feel like he had to do this for her. They didn't show enough in their past to show why he cared about her so much. They didn't show anything in the present why he cared about her so much. He's this happy man selling apartments, and she's this chaotic, crazy person that's trying to play what's that game called? Not
Chicken. He's
not
trying to play
horse.
chicken.
Play chicken with
Yeah.
cars, and he's not into it. And the way the movie was set up, it feel like he was supposed to drop the charade and turn into the person that she. But that never happens.
It never happened.
He
Ever.
literally just he stays the same way and just starts killing people.
Right.
And it's not like he doesn't have the ability to do it. He does,
He don't want
but
to. Clearly.
they they didn't give him the writing to do it. So
Right.
yeah, like the movie was just it was a mess story wise. Like even it looks good, the music was solid. Like there was so many really good elements to the film. It just did not work.
Yeah.
It's not even a good Valentine's Day movie.
I didn't believe they were in love at all. They did nothing to
Me
tell
neither.
me that they were in love.
No, they didn't show it or tell it.
They tried to like sneak it in there. I really feel like this was like a post production thing where they were like, oh, we got to do something about this. They tried to do it for like inner monologues, and those were
Yeah,
weird. It was like I don't
they
blame.
weren't executed well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately, yeah, this is one of those movies where like I was very disappointed walking out because I really wanted Key to get a win. He's such a lovely man. Obviously, I don't know him in real life, so what he portrays in comment and stuff like that, like in media, I should say, he seems like a lovely man. But this is a pass for me, man.
I would say so too. It's a pass for sure.
Unfortunately, I really wish, I really wish it wasn't, but it's a pass. Um, a film. The next film is a film that I only saw, and this is Die Alone. So, story of a young man who has amnesia. He bands together with a rugged survivalist in a zombie-like outbreak to find his girlfriend. So, if you know me, I love zombie movies. I've seen tons of them. It's my favorite genre to watch for the most time. Obviously, I don't watch them all the time because it's kind of tough watching all the time. But when I find a good zombie movie or even a great zombie movie, I love it. Right? Die Alone is a film that is a refreshing zombie film. Because when you watch so many, they kind of start blending together, right? And either that or they get ridiculous, where it's like zombie strippers. but Die Alone takes a theme or like a thing of like, oh, I'm searching for somebody amongst a zombie apocalypse. We've seen that tons of times. We had that with The Last of Us and everything like that. But with the whole amnesia aspects and what they do with the character, why he has amnesia, and where his girlfriend is, and all these characters in it is starring why am I forgetting the name of the actors right now? Die Alone. It's two famous actors, one from The Matrix and one from Marvel. Uh, Carrie Ann Moss and Frank Grillo. They're all over the poster in the trailer. They're supporting actors in this. So Carrie Ann Moss plays a survivalist who brings him in after he has an amnesia spell and tries to help him look for his girlfriend, but also survive in this situation he doesn't understand because he doesn't remember that the zombie apocalypse started.
Oh
And
wow.
Frank Grillo plays this lovely man that he runs into as well. They both do really great acting in it. Like everybody else was okay at acting, but they elevate their scenes. Both those guys. So I really, really enjoyed this movie because of the twists and turns it took. For the first half of the film, it feels like a stereotypical, oh, we're trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. We start meeting the people, we meet bad humans, yada, yada, yada. But then it takes a turn halfway through that I didn't see coming and turns it into a completely different movie. And I think it's a really good watch. Came out in
Mhm.
February, but actually I got a screener for it, and the people who got a screener said that it's coming out on Monday on streaming and like special edition physical media. They said during my review to shout it out, and I think this movie's worth checking out. So I think I'm gonna pick up the special edition physical media, but it's worth the rent. If you can still find it in theaters somehow, check it out. If you're a fan of zombie films, if you're a fan of Carrie Ann Moss and Frank Grillo, they do a really great job. I would say check this movie out.
Right.
So Die Alone. I'm gonna put this in a straight. I'll put it above the monkey. I haven't seen Last Breath, so I'm not gonna put it above that. But yeah, Die Alone is a really good watch. If you like zombie content, I think it's a movie that you'll enjoy because it's familiar but different. What's your favorite zombie film? Very good question. I think that would be Train to Busan. Phenomenal film.
I think I'm going to join you in that Train to Busan for sure.
This is a great movie.
Yeah.
This next film is a film that I only saw, but I highly implore Kenny Sparks to see it. It's the highest grossing animated film of all time now. It completely came out of nowhere, and it actually is special to me because it's one of my biggest videos I've ever done. And that's Neza 2. Neza, I can't see this damn live thing, man. I gotta put the text on the other side next time. Uh, After the catastrophe, although the souls of Neza and Eobing were saved, their bodies would soon be shattered. Tai Zenron planned to use the seven color lotus to rebuild their bodies. That is a basic premise for this movie in terms of like the first 10 minutes of the movie. But this is a sequel to a movie that came out in 2019. The first one is available on YouTube for you to watch for free. The first one is really, really good. And this is even better. This is a story of two crystals that used to be one being, and it was ravaging through the earthly lands, and the gods decided to split it, and they couldn't keep it separate. It was going to reincarnate, and they reincarnate into two separate beings. Neza is the Chaos Emerald, or whatever you want to call it, and born to be bad. But the parents are so loving he kind of like switched between being bad and good. And in the sequel, he's trying to figure out how to save the the positive one. Like there's he's the yin to his yang, right? Because they both lost their bodies in the last battle in the first movie. The second movie, they are one gets it back, one doesn't. They go through a tournament arc like an anime to try to figure out how to do it. And the movie is funnier. It looks way better. Got to see this on the biggest screen possible because the animation is absolutely gorgeous and looks better than the first one. The characterizations are better. The action is taken to like 15-fold. This is some of the greatest action I've seen in an animated film in a long time. And the story is deeper than I expected. It's a story about fighting against imperialistic forces and people who are separating you and making you fight against each other based on your cultures and who you are and how you look. It's not right in your face with those themes, but it's there. And it's the crux of the story. There's something that happens in this movie in the beginning of the third act that completely shocked me that they took it that far. And my mouth was ajar for like a lot of it, and it was just so good. It was so good. TJ, who's part of the community, and CC, who's part of the community, both saw it and they were blown away because this movie came out of nowhere. Like I didn't know anything about no Neza, and I didn't know about no Neza too. So going into it, liking the first one, and then the second one being fantastic, I was like, I'm excited. It sucks now that I have to wait for Neza 3 because it takes them like 3 years to make these movies um, to check out the third one. But I highly, highly recommend if it's in a theater near you to check out the second one. And where I'm going to rank it, I'm going to put it in IMAX. Um, I just realized this wasn't supposed to be the next movie I do, but that's fine. I'm going to put this in IMAX because it's such a gorgeous movie. It's worth seeing on the theater just because of how good it looks.
Mm.
But the story and the characters and everything else holds up as well. It's not like, oh, this looks great, but the characters are trash. Oh, this looks great, or the story doesn't make sense. Everything makes sense, and it's an emotional story as well. But a movie that I skipped over that we both saw that I shouldn't have skipped over. That was a great film that came out this Friday, so we won't spoil it. We both have reviews for this on our channel. It's My Dead Friend Zoe. Tell them
Woo!
what it's about, man.
Merritt is a U.S. veteran who keeps seeing the presence of Zoe, her best friend who died in combat. When her estranged grandfather is diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, she decides to become his caretaker while also trying to heal herself.
Yeah, talk about this movie that made us both cry.
This movie is this movie is incredible. This movie is amazing. Essentially, like the I'm trying to find my words. So essentially, the film does such a good job at portraying PTSD, its impact. It's not a thing that a lot of movies do a disservice to when it comes to subjects like this is that there's a moment where a person just like gets over it, right? Or it just becomes easy or whatever, but it never becomes easy for Merritt throughout the entirety of the film. The character of Zoe, who's an ever present presence in Mare's life, it's not like Mare is like one of those ghost stories where the ghost is like trying to help. It's like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
to do the right thing, Mary. Like it's not like that. It's the complete opposite actually. It's the PTSD is trying to hold on, right? Or she's trying to
Yeah,
hold on to the PTSD, rather. And the idea that letting go of that PTSD is somehow betraying your friend, like they do such a great job of portraying that. And one of the things I love about this movie, because it's like I said in my review, one of the things I've been thinking a lot about recently is how tragedy, hardship, whatever can happen in your life, but life does not stop. And I don't mean that in an inspirational way. I mean that in a if your
literally.
mother, father, brother, sister died today, which I don't wish that on anybody, you still got to pay bills. You still got to go to work. You still have to you still got to clean. You still have to eat. You still have to do all these other things. And they do that in with Merritt's grandfather, who's suffering from Alzheimer's. So while she's going through this PTSD, debilitating PTSD, her grandfather is there and needs care, even if he doesn't think he does. And it's like, I have to somehow manage to help my grandfather while I need help myself. And man,
Yeah.
it's like, it's that, it's really good, man. So I absolutely love this movie. This movie is the reason why, like, for the beginning of it, for the past couple movies, I was like, oh, it's a matinee. No, because it's so much not. It's such a distance between how good this movie is and how good those other movies we were talking about were, that this movie like just puts those movies way down here. So, yeah, I absolutely love this movie. What did you think?
Yeah, I had a great time with this movie. I love it too. I don't think I love it as much as you did,
Yeah,
but I do love it. I think somebody was asking me what were my picks for Oscars for next year, which is like obviously way too early because
yeah,
we have no Oscar movies yet. But
right.
Sonequa Martin Green's performance in here is
Oh my
phenomenal.
god, yeah,
And if she was nominated somehow, I know she's not because it came out so early. Nobody's talking about this shit. I wouldn't be mad. Natalie Morales is great. Ed Harris is great as a supporting actor. Morgan Freeman is in this, and he's great as
yep,
well. So it has a cast. The two leads are two people you might not know, because they're not a lot of movies. They're more in TV
right.
shows, but it's supported by veteran actors you know from the films, which
Hmm.
I think is what a smart film should do. If you're gonna give two actors that people don't know, you got to give them like supporting actors that people do know. And the dynamic she has with everybody, even her love interest was really, really strong.
It was
Their
great.
chemistry was really
Yeah.
good. That actor, every time I see him, he's great.
Hmm.
Natalie Morales is always really funny in everything I see her in. And I just had a really good time with this movie. Um, Good time is relative because obviously it's a very sad
Right,
movie,
right. Yeah,
but I had a good time. I had a good cry. Let's just say
I
that.
had
And
a
I was
good cry. Yeah,
invested. Yeah, I was invested in these characters. It's one of those movies when it's ending, you're like, you don't want it to end because you just want to stick with these people.
yep,
And the ending scene was so emotionally jarring. The
yeah,
conversation that she has in that ending scene in a graveyard, I don't want to spoil too much. It's just so like mind blowing. I think what makes this movie not I think it's really, really good, and a really, really good movie that I love, but not great. Is I think that it meanders a little bit throughout the film in terms of what it wants to do, and I think it doesn't explore everything that I would have liked. I would have liked them to explore a little bit more of her relationship with her mom. There was something there.
yeah.
Um,
They kind of dropped that a little bit.
they kind of dropped that a little bit. I would like to explore the relationship with the guy and kind of what the problem there is. Is it because she was in love with her best friend Zoe still? Why it was hard for her to connect with him? Like a couple different things that I wish they would explore throughout her life. Like what happened, why she might be on trial. They like mentioned that and kind of just threw it to the side and never came
Yeah,
back up.
yeah,
Even though she didn't go to her meetings that she was supposed to go to. So there was a
yeah.
couple of things I wish that they would have explored. But overall, the focus was her and her grandfather, and they did a fantastic job with that. And
Hmm.
Ed Harris, fantastic, right?
Yeah,
Um, so everything you talked about, the realistic PTSD, I brought that up in my review as well, and how they portrayed that, and how they portrayed how stuck she was phenomenal.
right. That's why
Um,
now looking at the yeah full price for sure.
yeah,
Now looking at the
I agree
list,
with you.
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Now looking at the list, the two movies I was talking about was like Hard I had a great time with the Gorge I had a great time with, but I was like, but my dead friend Zoe is different. Like there's a
Janella,
clear yeah like difference between those two. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I was about to say save the best for last, but I don't know if that's true. Save the last for last, which is
Captain America, Brave New World. Sam Wilson himself is in the middle of an international incident after meeting the President Thaddeus Ross. He must soon discover the reason behind a nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red. That's a good pun.
did you write that?
Um, no, that's the synopsis of the movie.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, talk about Brave New World, man.
Brave New World, I had a very interesting experience with because I saw it twice and I needed to. The first time I saw it, I did not like this movie at all,
Mm,
at all. Like I thought it was really, other than some action scenes, um, and the performance by Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley, I thought this movie was pretty poor,
mm.
and not like, damn it, Zach, you would be here for this. Not like Eternal's bad or or Thor Love and Thunder bad. Nowhere
100%.
near that. But however, I did think that it was like it missed the mark. Upon seeing it the second time, I had a much better time with it the second
Yeah.
time. But even while I was doing my review of it, I was like, yeah, but these things, and the first time
Mute yourself.
hello, ¿cómo te llamas?
Hello? Oh, I can hear you now.
All right. The second time I saw it, um, it's not like those things got better. I think I just accepted the movie for what it was. And for
Mm,
me, I think my overall criticism of this film is that it is a incredible Hulk movie with
mm,
Captain America. And my second overall criticism of just Marvel itself with this movie is y'all didn't invest in Sam the same way y'all invested in Steve. And I have a problem.
mm,
The fact that you gave Sam the scraps and gave Steve, he's fighting Hydra. He's Winter Soldier's all about Steve and his relationship with the world and his relationship with Bucky and characters that you've already set up and all these different people who and Steve is fighting up against the government and he's coming in with this new perspective like saying Fury, this isn't freedom, this is fear. Like he's fighting like all this insight, like insight the program with the helicarriers and all this other stuff and Hydra. I mean, I already mentioned Hydra, but he's got all this deep Captain America lore that's going in that has everything to do with Steve, and you're investing in who Steve is as a person from the start of the movie to the end of the movie. And I felt like you didn't give that same love and care to Sam. Instead, you gave us this it's a cool Marvel movie. That's why people talk about Winter Soldier the way that they talk about Winter Soldier because it's a cool Marvel. That's not how they talk about it, right? They talk about it like, yo, this is one of the best movies we've seen. And I'm not saying that Brave New World has to be one of the best movies I've seen. But let's talk about why it's one of the best movies you've seen. It's because it's all about Steve and our investment in him. And this movie is all about, damn, you mean the leader is that pissed off with Thaddeus Ross that he wants to turn him into a Red Hulk over the course of 14, 15 years? And expose him as a terrible person over the course of 14, 15 years. You just, that was your plan. You were just going to give him the pills for 14, and then the hope one day he would like turn into a Red Hulk. Natasha Romanoff just dropped files on the internet one day, and that was it. That was it. Like I'm just like thinking through all this thing, and it's like yo, like they're like you're the leader. You're one of the smartest people on the planet, apparently, and this is the dumbest plan I've ever heard. Like it's like, but you remember all the things I just talked about with the leader going after the president and trying to turn him to the Red Hulk to show everybody that he's as bad as what the fuck does that have to do with Sam Wilson? Right? Is like that's what I'm talking about. Like that has nothing. Sam is just here because it's collateral. It's like, oh, Carl Lumbly, the leader don't give a fuck about Carl Lumbly. He just happened to be there. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's like all this shit. So yeah, that's my issue with the film. Right? It's not that it's not fun. It doesn't have good action. It's a blah. Blah. It's just, she ain't got nothing to do with Sam, right? So the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a better Captain America Sam Wilson movie than this movie is because it has everything to do with Sam, right? It's about his like you meet his family in New Orleans. I know I'm going on up. You meet his family in New Orleans. You figure out his relationship with Bucky, his relationship to being Captain America, and what that's like. And then you get to him being Captain America, and it's like it's not even about him, right? So yeah, so soapbox over.
No box of.
Sorry.
Okay, so we have obviously very different opinions about this movie. Devil's advocate, I do think this film is about Sam. I do think that it is about Sam in terms of how his placement in the world. It just so happened that he's dealing with something that was left over from the Hulk, but the Hulk is not mentioned here. So if it was a thing of like, if Thaddeus Ross was continuously talking about the Hulk and the leader was continuously talking about the Hulk, and they were talking about She-Hulk coming in, taking her blood, then I'm like, all right, this is a Hulk sequel, right? But it just so happened that these villains had interacts with the Hulk, especially since Red Hulk in the comics does fight Captain America often. I don't know why they did that, but they do. And Thaddeus has a history with Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson from Winter Soldier, Civil War, and everything that's happened there. And they talk about that. So that interaction makes sense. He wanted him to create the Avengers and all this stuff here. But I think the fact that his friend, his idol, got locked up in the midst of all this stuff that had nothing to do with his friend ties Sam into the story, and him trying to figure out and say, hey, do I do everything possible and try to just get Isaiah out of here? Or, which the leader thought he was going to do the opposite of that and go fight this guy and figure out who's trying to attack Thaddeus Ross, because I feel like that's more important for the greater worldview, because I'm Captain America. I'm not just Sam Wilson. So I like that dynamic that they had here with Sam kind of stepping into this world leader superhero thing where he's dealing with something that a superhero has to deal with, something that's not even directly related to him, which I don't think happens enough in superhero films, where everything has to be like, this is my best friend turned evil, which I love Winter Soldier. It's one of my favorite movies, but they easily could have made Isaiah Bradley the Winter Soldier in this, right? Where his brain was taken over, he's killing a bunch of people. Sam now has to stop him and talk to him and stuff like that. But it wasn't that. It was him righting a wrong that continuously happens to Isaiah Bradley over and over, while bringing up Joaquin Torres and showing him the ropes and proving Thaddeus Ross, like, hey, yeah, I'm not Sam Wilson. I don't need to be. I'm Captain America. And I think that speech that he had with Thaddeus Ross in the boat was amazing, right? Showing his counselor background, calming, and once again doing it again to Red Hulk and calming him down and showing that he's the one that can lead with love and knowledge, and not he doesn't have to punch you till you knock out. That will be the major difference between him and Steve, where he'll try to talk you down first before he gets into a fight, which makes sense because he's not a super soldier. And it reminds me of the difference between Batman and Nightwing, where Batman leads with his fist, Nightwing leads with love, and it's like that dynamic there, and that's why Nightwing becomes his own man and everything like that. So I do wish, though, what I agree with you on, I do wish that they led with Sidewinder and the Serpent Society and kind of leaned into that more, or had them more integral into the plot than they actually were. They were kind of in the beginning of the film, and then they kind of halfway through, all those characters are gone, right? I do wish that was more into it, but I did like the story and how it had Sam dealing with something as Captain America, even though it wasn't this personal thing. Because that was always the difference between Cap, Sam, and Steve in the comics. Steve only comes out for like the really big stuff. He's not a superhero that goes on patrol, but Sam is a superhero that does go on patrol. He patrols Brooklyn. Obviously, Sam's not from Brooklyn anymore because Anthony Mackie made the character come back from New Orleans. And I like you, Anthony Mackie, but I hate that you took a Brooklyn superhero away because they did that to Miles Morales as well. And I'm like, come on, guys, let's have something. Um, but I like the fact that he's being a hero and he's patrolling, he's doing something. It's on a bigger scale, but I like that. I think the action was great. I think him surfing a missile while Red Wing had the shield in the back blocking shots is one of the most epic moments
Oh yeah,
I've
exactly.
seen
Yeah.
in an MCU film. I really like Joaquin Torres as the new Falcon. I like the actor. I think Danny Ramirez has a future in Marvel, and I really can see that character developing, especially that speech he had about the weight of carrying it without them talking about race, culture, or anything. Everything was said in plain words where everyone can understand. But if you are of a certain culture or ilk, you understand what he really was talking about.
Yeah.
Having that seat at the table, and just the pressures that Sam is feeling, trying to be Captain America in a world where all this craziness is happening, trying to avoid a world war over antimanium and all this other stuff. I probably said that wrong. So I think the plot could have been tightened up a bit more in terms of like you said, the leader. Um, I don't think his goal was as stupid as you said it was, but I think they could have did a little bit more to make it why he chose that path. In terms of like, he did leak information about Thaddeus Ross, but the government kind of just shooting shit away. So he's like, all right, I'm not going to be able to just spread information about this guy because he is running for president, and just like presidents in real life, shit come out and they shove it on the ground and then we never hear about it again. They should have added a little bit more of that in there with the leader. I think the leader was an afterthought and in the film in terms of like really giving details to his plan. So I had a blast with this movie. I know that a lot of people have. I think it's a little bit more than just a fun Marvel film. When I think of fun Marvel film, I think of like Thor Ragnarok. That's a fun Marvel film for me. This one had a little bit more meaning in terms of the character and what Sam was going through. So my big issue with this film, mostly, other than I feel like the plot should have been tightened up, is the VFX. I think there's no reason. If you talk about Sam deserving more, his movie shouldn't look wonky, right? That's where I'm like, Sam Wilson's first movie shouldn't look wonky, especially since Falcon and Winter Soldier looked great.
Right. Right.
And that's a TV show,
Right.
right? And that
Yeah.
show looked great. The movie shouldn't have been wonky. If it wasn't ready, push it. There was no reason that this movie had to come out now. This could have came out as Thunderbolts if you wanted to give it more time to make it look good.
Yeah.
That was my only issue. And there's some scenes that look great VFX wise, but when we start getting into the more fantastical elements in that third act, especially that last fight scene, the background was questionable.
Awful.
That's the
Yeah.
best thing I could say about it. But Red Hulk looked amazing. I think it might be the best looking Hulk that we had so far, surprisingly. And my big thing, I wish the marketing was more about the mysterious leader aspect than Thaddeus Ross turning to Red Hulk. I think the movie would have been more enjoyable if I went in there not knowing he was going to turn Red Hulk, and then that was what it led to, and I would have lost my mind. Right? So, but just the fight between them two was just so satisfying for me, and the fact that he was able to do the Naruto no talk jutsu down to him was great. And yeah, I had a great time with this movie. It's a flawed film, but I still think it's a great time.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not the worst movie. Nowhere
No,
near close
more
to the
there.
worst Marvel movie. I don't know where people are getting that from. But it's
More
like
there.
it's middle of the pack, and it deserved better in my opinion. Yeah,
That's what we can definitely agree.
I think I have it between like Wakanda Forever and Black Widow. Two movies I really enjoyed.
Okay.
So you know, it's he deserves better.
So where would you put it personally?
Matinee.
Monday. Okay. Do you think it's better than Hard Eyes?
Mm, yeah, maybe. I think it's better than Hard Eyes. I'm not. Yeah, I think it's better than Hard Eyes and The Gorge.
Okay. Okay. I would have put it full price, but I'll go ahead and meet in the middle. Put it at matinee.
Mm,
Because still a fun time at the theaters. I don't, it's gonna be a good time at home, but I think
yeah,
it's a great time at the theaters.
I'm looking
All
forward
right.
to watching it when it hits streaming.
Yeah. Seeing how my opinion changes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is our final ranking of the movies that we saw in February. Overall, I think it was a solid month.
Hmm.
Maybe lower tier than some other months because we had a pass, and usually we don't have any movies that we pass on.
Yep.
So it's a little lower tier than other movies, but I still think it was a good month. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Let's go into the Q&A section. Let's take these final questions that we missed out on and wrap up because I want to watch some Daredevil. You know what I mean?
Same. Don't y'all say nothing about Daredevil in these here comments.
Facts. Don't spoil it for us. Don't be mean. Let's see. Perhaps. What are you looking for in March? We answer that. Someone saw all 9 episodes of Daredevil again. That was 3C Films. Yeah, I heard about that. A lot of the reviewers got the full thing. I think they're kind of scared about middling reviews, so they gave the whole season to a lot of people. Jeremy Allen White will be nominated for Bruce Springsteen next year.
Got to see it
No,
first.
because we're getting a lot of musical biopics this year. We're getting Bruce Springsteen. We're getting the Michael Jackson one. Depending on how good the actor does, he might get nominated. We're also getting the Beatle movies, which like they're giving an
Oh, right.
individual movie to each Beatle. We'll see how that turns out. So there's a lot of competition in terms of like just musical actors, and then you got to think about all the other like just regular films that they have. We'll see. I think Jeremy Allen White is a talented actor. I just don't know if I have to see it. Are you interested in the Bruce Springsteen movie?
Not in the slightest.
Me neither. Just like the Bob Dylan movie, don't care about this guy at all.
Yeah.
Not saying that he's a bad singer. I probably heard one of his songs. Just don't care.
Mm-hmm. Could
Perhaps
not
the
care
Paul,
less.
yeah. Perhaps
So,
the Paul Thomas Anderson movie will be big for Regina Hall next year. I enjoy the Python books and the movies that PTA make from those. Interesting.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that
Regina
was
Hall
happening.
is in his next film. It's with Leonardo DiCaprio. I think it's called The Battle of Bucatan or something like that.
Okay.
Um, so that's one of the big like maybe Oscar films coming on. I would love Regina Hall to get some shine. She's so underrated.
Yep.
Um, and as a dramatic actress, but also like as a comedic actress as well. So hopefully. Hey, Obi Thornton Lyons, what's up, man?
What's
Hope you're doing
up?
well too.
Oh, bro.
Are you guys looking forward to watching Daredevil Born Again when you get around to watching it? Of course.
Yes, absolutely. As soon as this is over.
Yeah, turn it on. I was 3 years old when that movie came out. Oh my god. When Cars 2, not Cars 1, Cars 2, he was 3.
Young folks.
Go to bed. Go to bed. Um, my early prediction is that Colin Farrell will earn the win for Best Actor. He handled his loss for Banshees really well, and the ballot in his new movie will make him the Best Actor for the Oscar favorite. That's a bold prediction. Screenshot it. We'll see. Imagine he's right because I don't even know what the name of the movie he's gonna be in.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty deep in some circles from what I've seen from The Rock and the new Smash Machine that one is not pleasing the studio thus far. Emily Blunt and The Rock being forced pairing in 3 movies now. Interesting.
Wow.
Okay. I hope that's not true because I was hoping that he would have something that's, a little bit serious. People are talking about as to why they work together so much if they're involved on screen. Certainly no chemistry with The Rock and Blunt on screen. Smash Machine, not impressive to me. I have to see it. I don't know
I
anything
gotta see
about the
it.
film. I've never heard anything about the film. I definitely don't think it's something going on between them off screen. I think that The Rock just finds people he likes, and if he has good working relationship with them, he just keeps working with them.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you both. I was kind of like a eye roll, musical eye roll. I'm not sure which movie he's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, good night. Odell movie said good night. Later, man.
And good night.
Pharrell might win big, bold. Wait, Pharrell might win for big, bold journey with Margot Robbie. Oh, it's a romance fantasy movie. Maybe Ballad with help him get momentum. Pattinson maybe nom for Die My Love. Nick Holt for Sissy Spacek. I heard of Die My Love. That one's with Jennifer Lawrence.
Mm.
And I heard that's a movie people are hyped for. I think Furiosa is better because Chris Hemsworth is in it as a villain, but Furiosa as a character is actually quite boring, and I personally found it hard to believe that she survived. I don't agree at all.
Yeah, I don't agree with that in the slightest. That's okay
She
though.
was
Means
she
this
was raised to fight from she was like a little kid.
right. That was her whole squad was in the fight.
Yeah, and also I believe that like she didn't do anything in the movie that felt unrealistic in such a high fantasy thing. She didn't like flip somebody 30 times bigger than her.
Right.
Brendan Fraser might get a nom for Eisenhower. That's hopefully he's been quiet since his win. Challenges is a movie that I do not get the hype for. I still do not understand why. Zendaya, maybe I'm in the minority. Is this one rap for me? Is this and this one? I'm not sure what he meant. She hasn't been in a movie that I've liked. Do you not like the Spider?
Right.
That's a grand statement to say that. She's in the Spider-Man movies. So you don't like No Way Home? But when it comes to you guys' videos, very good to see the improvement and details you put in both videos. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Is that when it comes to a movie? I would have thought it would have been Daredevil Born Again. To a movie?
Not
You
sure what
think
you
that
mean.
Daredevil should have been a movie? I gotta see what it looks like first. I don't think that would have worked out well. I don't think enough people know about Daredevil to make it a movie for it to just come out.
I think the opposite. I think that you definitely could have made it Daredevil. One,
Okay.
there's been a Daredevil movie already, and two, there's a beloved series that's been out that people know about, and it's starting the same actor too. I think that you would get a definitely would get a, if you will, a pop for Daredevil, potentially bigger than the first Doctor Strange movie. Like, so I think that there's definitely a space for Daredevil for sure.
Playing devil's advocate, I think they've shown that TV show to movie has not worked, right? Like
Mm.
we've seen other characters. Even I get it, like not every TV show, but like Miss Marvel was well reviewed and loved. She popped up in the movie, didn't fully work out well. Obviously, it wasn't her movie only, but she was one of the main leads, and it hasn't shown that from movie or show to movie has worked. And Daredevil was big, but it wasn't Game of Thrones big. Like it wasn't like everybody saw it, you know.
I think that a lot of that has to do with the marketing of the Marvels and the fact that
So,
it, to me, didn't look good. And then for me, only speaking for me, wasn't good either. So,
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
that's not.
Goes without saying, Kenny.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go. What you saying?
And that's not including the weird misogynistic hate that's coming from
Well,
some
obviously,
yeah.
yeah, I know you. Goes without saying, Kenny. Also, I love these programs. Excited to see you can do more live streams on this channel too. Nice.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna review Mickey 17 on my channel, my first audio video. I also made a movie haikus and movie facts section on my channel. Enjoy making shorts. Do my first live stream. Nice.
Nice. Cool beans, man. Sounds great.
Watching very closely where the boys place the gorge right now. I knew he would. The scene where they're walking through the living, breathing scaffolding in the bunker was awesome. Yes, it was.
I agree. Yeah, that was amazing. That was really well done.
Ace Avenue. What's
What up,
up?
Ace?
Hold up, Kenny. Be careful how you talk about the final boss. Oh yeah, you were.
I
You
don't
said
have a
it's
soul.
like a rock movie.
I'm not selling him my soul.
It's like I don't care. He can get what he can get it.
And unlike his employees, I will sue if you get me beat up
Also
by
also the Ace Avenue a member for 9 months. I think
Hey,
that's you,
let's
right?
go. Pregnant
Nice.
with membership.
The monkey, in my opinion, would have worked better as a pure horror instead of a horror comedy. Um, I, I just think the story whether it was a pure horror, I think it would have been worse if it was just a pure horror with the same story.
I kind of feel the same way. If there was nothing to hold on to, no last that movie would have been this,
That would have been a pass, a
and it
super
already
pass.
was abysmal. So
What should Marshall Lynch act in next? I think he has his next role, but I'm not sure what it's in.
wherever it
Oh,
is,
he's in Euphoria.
oh, is he?
Yeah, he got casted in the next season of Euphoria.
Huh. That will work.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident in Marshawn Lynch in his ability. I think he knows his range, and I think that whenever
yeah.
he's cast, they cast him well within that range. So I was really impressed with him in that movie, which name I can't remember. At
Bottoms.
Bottoms, I was about to say Fight Club. Bottoms. He was really good in Bottoms. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was
Speaking of
more
Bottoms,
than
give it
just
a
a
shout
cameo.
out. It's finally getting a physical release. So
Oh,
happy.
nice.
Coming out day after my birthday. Love hurts. Womp womp.
Correct.
Should Timmy play Billy the Kid? I don't want to see Timmy playing people anymore. He's
Yeah,
already doing it again in another movie this year where he's playing a real person. I don't want him to become the I play real people person.
yeah. That was kind of. Oh man, I might get some heat for this. That was kind of the not issue, But a little bit of the, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to Chadwick, he just kept playing real people.
Mm,
And I really wish he would have
yeah,
played more just characters.
different characters. Yeah, that's true. Like half his career is playing real life people.
Yeah. Some of them he didn't look like at all, but that's a story for another day.
Was Goldie Hawn at the Oscars the equivalent of putting herself back on the block for some new movies? Maybe.
I don't
I
know
don't know. Andrew Garfield definitely gave her some praise on that stage, so that's dope.
for sure.
Nezha 2, amazing IMAX. The crew loves Nezha 2, baby. Gagged. TJ's reaction picture he put after he saw it was amazing. Like people with hair messed up looked like they were blown away.
Mm,
That was hilarious. Thanks to Sully. Don't think I would have known of it otherwise. Hey, Cece, you should do a reaction to Nezha 1 on your channel.
That's
I
true.
think that would be really
It's
good
already on
in
the YouTube.
preparation for the second one. Yeah. Glad you had fun. So annoyed I never got the movie Nezha 2. That's another thing that's a problem, is that the movie's not widely available everywhere.
Yeah.
So dead friend Zoe had me crying. That's what she said. This
Yep.
is me after you said you about Eternals. Punch you
I
through the
saw
camera,
that.
you know? Hey, Michael 101591, what's up? She said bootleg brainiac, broccoli head. Sully
Oh,
agreed.
by the way, speaking of, I guess that thing just died. Speaking of the thinker,
Uh, Unthinker. The leader.
the leader. I don't know where the thinker came from. I saw a Funko Pop that I actually took a picture of in a store
Yeah.
of what the leader was supposed to look like in Captain America Brave New World. And it looks
Yeah.
completely different from what we actually got in the movie. I'll share it
Yeah.
in
I
the group.
saw I saw the character art
Yeah.
and I was like, why did they go with this? Why did they change this? Did you follow the comic books and the stories before the MCU began? If not, what is so appealing about the MCU to you? Is that the people talk about them a lot, or have you ever truly been compelled by the MCU? Uh, I did. I've been a comic book fan way before the MCU was even a thought. I've been
Right.
reading comics and watching comic book related stuff since the 90s. But to answer your question, no, it's not because people talk about it, because people talk about it in a negative fashion now, while I'm enjoying most of the product that's coming out. Secret Invasion is ash use.
Yeah.
Um, I think you muted yourself. But
I did.
I think that I just love cape shit. I love cape shit. And the MCU has done a great job of bringing characters that I love to life and bringing characters that I'd never even read to life that I was like, oh, this is great. And they get you invested in these characters and you end up loving the overarching story. What about you, Kenny?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. All righty then.
All righty then. Oh, you muted again.
Yeah. So basically, no, I've always loved superheroes. Superheroes have were my bread and butter growing up. From and before I even started reading comics, like before I got my hands on a physical comic book, there was Spider Man the animated series, there was Batman the animated series, there was X Men the animated series, there was the Hulk animated series, Fantastic Four. Like I remember that. Even like the Iron Man series was great too.
Yeah.
Head up, man. That intro song was amazing. Like
About.
yo, absolutely incredible. I am Iron Man. Like yo, we was out there. This man had scuba iron gear. It was crazy. Um, but yeah, man, I've always loved superheroes. Just from then, and then I did get my hand on some comic books when I was able to go to the comic book store, which was rare because I didn't have my own money. And I started reading comics, and I went over to my best friend's house, whose older brother had comics littered all over. all over the house. The first comic book I ever read was at his house. It was What If Craven the Hunter had killed Spider Man. The second comic book I
Ooh,
ever read was Secret Wars, not the one from
wow.
Hickman, but the original Secret
The
Wars.
original one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why I've always been like, man, multiverse, everything's a multiverse. It's whatever. Like I grew up reading alternate universes before ever got to a main story. So I've always been ingrained with comic books and comic book heroes. And really, when you watched, now I know this is a long answer. I'm sorry. Really, when you watch those comic book shows, a lot of them are very, very, very faithful and reflective of the comic books that they came from. If you watch the first season
Yeah.
of Spider Man, the animated series, you're basically getting the Spider Man story through and through, right? And
Yeah.
actually, the entire series too. And Blade was in there, and Morbius, and Iron Man, like all the heroes that I know now, Daredevil, were in that
No.
show. Yeah, so
X-Men.
yeah,
Yeah.
from X Men to X Men '97. Like it's been like that. So no,
Yeah.
then the first Spider Man Blade, and then the first Spider Man movie came out, first X Men movie came out. I was hooked from there. So I was already used to watching superhero movies. Besides the fact that Superman and all those Batman movies already existed, so superhero movies have always been around. The MCU just exacerbated that situation and made it a connected story. So it's really not. It's really more faithful to comic books than the previous iterations, where in a Batman movie, Superman may never have existed ever. Like so,
Yeah.
yeah,
A great answer, man. Fun tier list. We'll love to see a tier list for particular genres or subgenres discussed by you kind chaps. That's something that we could definitely do
sure.
in the future of Film Club.
Tier list top 10 reasons why Eternals is trash. Like we can do the tiers, you know what I mean, and then there will be tears flowing once the truth is accepted. So you know.
You lucky I don't have it. Oh yeah,
Move this man!
that's you. You're Dave Chappelle in this
I
section.
accept it. I
Boo
accept it.
you. Boo you. How
Well, at
could
least
you?
it's 30. How many MC was like 35 now?
I think it's 33.
33. Okay, yeah. Well, at least it's 32 and not 33.
Let's move on before steam comes out my head. I was meaning wicked and oh, like the eye roll emotion. Got you.
Okay, I got you.
Jason Entertainment. What's up, man?
What up, Jason? Hey, buddy.
It's going good. What is your favorite weapon in an action movie? Ooh.
Ooh. Immediately, my brain goes to a lightsaber.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think the Thundercat sword.
That's
Lionel.
yeah.
That one's fire.
Hmm.
Uh, oh, female. My bad. Sorry, Stacy.
Oh, my
I
bad,
think
Jason.
we were stuck in an elevator for 10 hours. Oof. Kenny just had a kind of experience like that.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
actually stuck in the elevator. That was not good.
yeah. What comedy movies would you like them to play in the elevator to make you laugh and calm you? Ooh. Next questions. Crazy Stupid Love, Bottoms, because that shit
Bombs is good. Yeah.
had me dying. I'm trying to think comedies that I really love off the top of my head. You know, nothing that's gonna be anxiety inducing. Because I was gonna say Nora, but that's too anxiety inducing. And in this situation, I'm already anxiety induced.
Yeah.
Super bad. Um, Project X. That was a underrated, funny movie.
That's a comedy.
Yeah, the one with the kids have the party and destroy the
Oh,
neighborhood.
right.
Okay. Should Grunt play a henchman, a hitman, or action comedy third or fourth sidekick, or star in an action comedy? I think he should start as a hitman, not hitman, a henchman in a movie first, and see if he can pull it off. Because I don't know if he can act.
Yeah, I would. Gronk would probably be cast as a henchman, and very likely he would remain in that
Yeah. Yes, I love comic books too. Love your answer.
role.
Negan's baseball bat is great.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
he used like Shannon. Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, oh yeah, I have all kinds of comic books over here. It's like my
Yeah,
whole thing over here.
a million. I hope they utilize Shaman properly MCU soon and find someone great to play him. Shaman? Wow, is there a character named Shaman? Marvel Shaman. I thought, oh yeah, there is a character named Shaman. Yeah, look, they're gonna run out of characters eventually, so they're gonna have to get into the bag
They're just
and
gonna have
like
to start rebooting.
popularize, yeah, like popularize characters that people don't even really read. Like Brother Voodoo, I'm waiting for him to come in, or
Mm,
yeah, I think he starts with Brother Voodoo and becomes Doctor Voodoo when he comes to Sorcerer Supreme. Looking forward to him too. One of
there
my
you
favorite
go.
ones.
Um,
Yeah, the Squadron Supreme would be fire.
yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Captain Britain.
The Ultimates. Um, yeah. There's a lot of good
Blue
characters
Mar-
that are left.
we need to get Blue Marvel, dude.
Blue Marvel. Yep.
And fan casting Will Smith. Perfect for the role.
Will Smith. Wow. I would cast someone who's already been cast, unfortunately, which is Sterling K. Brown. He would be the perfect Blue Marvel, but he
Look,
already.
if Rob Downey Jr. can play Iron Man and Doom,
You're right about that.
and Gemma Chan could be that Green Alien and Captain Marvel, and then play Cersei in Eternals, don't say he's a Sterling Brown. They gonna remember that he was in Black Panther. Look,
Yeah,
they bringing back Big Homie as Blade.
that's true.
He was a Luke Cage. It's all right. He can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mm,
we're at the end of the questions. This is the end of the video. Penny, thank you for coming on as always. This was really really
always.
fun.
Yeah.
We got into it. We got into the thick of things. Got to debatings and decidings and stuff like
Mm,
that. Film every film club we want to have it like a film club, like a movie book club. And the next film that we're going to be talking about next week, next Tuesday, in a spoiler fashion. So I tell you to go watch this so you can join us next week live. Is Mickey 17.
yep.
So we both will have non-spoiler reviews on our channel, and then next week we'll get to talk about it all spoiler fashion. So that'll be the main topic for the next stream is Mickey 17. So go check it out this weekend, or if you haven't checked it out yet, because I know some early showings. And then whatever big thing we want to end up talking about throughout the week, when we'll figure it out, we'll have that as a second topic as well. So thank you guys for being in the stream. This was really fun. I miss streaming. This is great. We probably won't go for 3 hours every time, but this is our first time doing
Definitely.
this.
Yep.
And we will see you next time.
Word. Peace.
Peace.